You already know what it is. Live, uncut, unedited. Tell the truth and shame the devil. I love being black. You already know what it is. Live, uncut, unedited. Tell the truth and shame the devil. I love being black. All right, people. We're back. We're back. We took a day off yesterday. And as always, saying, this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and definitely be glad in it. And they call me the crime chaser. Well, they said, well, Martin, you don't chase crime like you used to. And you're right. I'm chasing this political crime against our black people. That's what I'm chasing tonight. And it's a crime the way black people, foundation black Americans, are being treated. It's a crime. It's a true crime, the way we're being treated in this political system. And we got to get mean and we got to get ugly. We got to get stern, people. We have to get stern with our black representative. And we don't need no punks, as Minister Louis Farrakhan said, representing us. If you ain't willing to die for the truth, you don't need no seat in the political arena at all. We need men and women that's willing to sacrifice everything for the group, for our group. And that's what we need. We don't need no get along, go along, just to get along. And we on a decline. Communities are on a decline. Black people, we have 77 communities here in the city of Chicago, and every community that is predominantly white is thriving. But every community that is predominantly black is on a decline. Why is that? People is real. We're being left behind. We're not included in the changes that's going on. And we see it every day. Every day. Black people, we supposed to suffer in silence and not say anything. We have a black mayor that's fighting tooth and nail for immigration. I've never seen him fight, so I believe he never fought this hard just to win the seat. But he's fighting, and not for people that look like me. The only thing he got to offer black people, affordable homes, and you put that money down on reparations, to study reparations. Black people, how long are we going to be fooled? And see, our problem is we think we don't have another choice. We have another choice. We definitely have another choice in the matter. Again, there are no white, racist Republicans running the city of Chicago. Not at all. Let me say that again. There are no white, racist Republicans running the city of Chicago. I'm going to go a little further than that. Donald Trump, some that you hate, but he is the president, like it, love it, or hate it, isn't running the city of Chicago. And I want some of you guys to follow me tonight. You said, well, what do you mean, Martin? I'm already following you. I said, no, I want you to really listen to me close tonight. And I'm going to prove to you What's written on paper is playing, unfolding right before our eyes. I'm going to prove it to you. And for all those out there that's doubting what I'm saying tonight, the naysayers are trying to discredit me. And I want to say to you tonight, you may not like the messenger, but you better listen to the message. Dr. Claude Anderson, he warned us many years that was coming, what was to come. And it's right here at our doorsteps. And we're scrapping right now, people. And I see a lot of fake pain amongst my people. But tonight I'm going to cry loud and spare not. I'm going to put the rod on us tonight, the rod of truth, with a little compassion and mercy. But I got to tell the truth tonight and shame the devil. I might lose some friends, I may lose some followers, but the message must go on. Some folks, they have not been battle tested. They want to get along. They want to live in peace with our enemy. That's what they want to do. But people, we are in a war, not in a war of pistols and guns and bombs and all that. We're in a war of what's right. That's the war we're in too. We are in a war, people, and we got to be ready. Some of us don't want to fight. We're afraid to fight. Martin Luther King said it like this: if a man isn't willing to die for nothing, for something, he isn't fit to live. Somebody come on, talk to me. Talk to me, people. Somebody come and talk to me. Somebody come and talk to me tonight. They said, well, Martin, you sound so angry. I am angry tonight, and I'm mad at the devil. And whoever is allowing him to use him, that's who I'm mad at tonight. Our people have suffered long enough. They said, well, Martin, there you go with that victim mentality. I am a victim of white supremacy. You are too. Some of you don't even know it because it's hid in plain sight. Some folks don't like this type of talk. They want to see booty clapping. They want to hear relationships. They want to talk about sports. They want to talk about everything that don't have no substance. But when you talk about us being left behind or not being treated fairly in this country, I'm tired of the fake pain. We upset for 2 weeks. And black people, the way you're fighting for the undocumented immigrants or unauthorized immigrants, I hope you fight the same way for the same resources that they are receiving tonight. They are receiving these resources. They're not fighting for you. You're the one going around there talking about black and brown. You're the one. They're not talking about black and brown. They're putting on their job application white. Their rental application white. On a financial bank loans white. And you around here talking about brown. Fake pain. We were the ones had German shepherds sicked on us. We were the ones that had fire hose full of water, spraying water on us. We were the ones was getting knocked upside the head and shot and killed. We were the ones. You remember that song said, keep your eyes on the prize. No one can wrap themselves into our pain. We didn't run. We hung around and we fought and we're still fighting. We were the ones was told to sit on the back of the bus. We were the ones in the time of Jim Crow, whites only. Drink out of this water fountain. You can't drink out of this one, but you drink out of that one. You can't go to this beach, you go to the black beach. We were the ones. I'm keeping it real tonight. I'm upset tonight because my people are not upset what they need to be upset with. They're not upset because the migrants are in the black communities. They're upset because the migrants are getting the resources that the black people, Foundation Black Americans, rightfully deserve. That's what they're upset about. They're upset about the resources. They ain't upset about the migrants being in the community, walking up and down 63rd and 47th and 51st and 71st. They're not willing to fight for what they want. People, we are in a war. And some of us are afraid to fight tonight. Shame on you. We can blow each other away by a stare, stepping on somebody's toe, cutting somebody off on the street, a dice game, wearing the color blue, wearing the color red. We can execute somebody for something that means nothing, but we can't stand up for our women and for our policies. And to all our politicians that look like us and say that you represent us, what are you really doing? People, we need to put up every politician here in the city of Chicago. We need to put up a grade for them. It's either the A, B, C, D, or F. Each and every last one of our politicians, and I like some of them personally, but they need to be graded. And I don't want them saying nothing to me, and I'm gonna tell them don't take it personal. If you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, you don't have nothing to worry about. But if you're in there skinning and grinning, taking backdoor deals, leaving folks, black people off the table. I had a sister named Jessica called me yesterday, and she asked about Harold Washington. She said, what is it that so good about Harold Washington? What did he do? I said, Jessica, one thing that I really can remember that he did, he brought a lot of contracts to black Americans, not only here in the city of Chicago, but all over the country. He made a lot of black millionaires. And I had a man of European descent. He said the reason why they killed Harold Washington, and he used the word kill, because he was giving too many blacks contracts. He integrated the city hall. And I want to ask every politician, black, male or female, what will we remember about you? When your name come in the midst among us, what would Black Chicago say about you? Will they say, oh, he threw or she threw a good party? She gave us some turkeys, gave us some old expired food for the food pantry. Or he, what would they really say? How many black politicians tell the truth and shame the devil? How many of them we have telling the truth? How many politicians that can say this that look like me? I love being black. How many politicians that can say this? I love being black. In a room full of white folks, how many can they say it? They said, well, there you go, Martin. We can't do too much of that black talking because the white people ain't gonna vote for us. I want to share a secret with black people. White people only respect warriors. They don't respect cowards. They respect warriors, fighters. That's what they respect. They ain't respecting no punk or traitor. You're nothing to them. Nothing. I said it for them. You're nothing but the N word. That's what you are to them. Somebody said, well, Martin, you shouldn't be mad at the unauthorized or undocumented immigrants. You should be mad at the politicians. Guess what? I'm mad at the politicians and I'm mad at the immigrants. I'm mad at both of them. Because I already know that they are locking arms with the system. Now the system has flipped and turned the tides. Now they want to cry, oh, it's a terrible thing. They're attacking black people, they're kidnapping black people. Now, you didn't ever hear black people say that when it comes to police officers coming in our community, working in our community, arresting young black men. They didn't call it kidnapping then. When our black men break the law, they get arrested. But when the Hispanics come in here, and the Mexicans, and the Malaysians, and the Haitians, and the Jamaicans come in here, and the Trinidadians come in here, it's not a crime. If you here illegally, you're breaking the law. Period. It's not our fault you decide to come over here and have a child. That's not our fault. The difference between us and them, Foundation Black Americans, citizens, legal, natural born citizens. This is our home. You have another home that you can go back to and return. Real talk. Ooh, Martin, you sound so biased. I'm telling the truth tonight. I'm mad tonight. Ain't no more sugarcoating it. Let's keep it real. Keeping it real. Black people, we got to learn how to war. And I'm not talking about no bullets and guns and shooting nobody, knocking somebody upside the head with billy clubs. That's not the war I'm talking about. The war it's a political war. We're fighting for resources. And what is being happening, and it's unfolding in our eyes, we are financing our own oppression. Look at all our tax dollars going out the window. It's helping unauthorized and undocumented immigrants. And some black folks don't believe that we should say anything. They don't see nothing wrong with it. And those that do, they say, we next. We've always been on the menu. They ain't never stopped terrorizing black people. When have they stopped terrorizing black people in this country? They never have stopped terrorizing black people. We being redlined right now as I speak. Our areas are being gentrified right now as I speak. They have 20-year plans that they're going to act out. And a lot of you hate that I talk about the new American plan. And you with your black self, you are left out. And I challenge any alderman, anybody that's have a political spot, whether you be a senator or whatever you are. I don't hear nobody talking about the new American plan here in the city of Chicago or in the state of Illinois. No politician wouldn't dare to touch it. Why not? And we seeing it unfold right now before our eyes. Martin, you real serious tonight. I am serious tonight. Do you want Chicago to look like South Central? The Mexicans and Latinos, they bombed black people houses, homes, bust their windows, flattened their tires, they killed them, did all sorts of things. We can't forget, people. They took South Central. They took Compton. They're not going to take Chicago. We ain't going to have it at all. And we're not going to allow these black politicians to be soft if they can't stand up for what we want in our community. Shame on them. We're going to expose them starting from this platform, and they can take their money and do whatever they want to do, because I am not for sale at all. I'll starve to death before I take payment for one of them for me to be quiet. If you want to come on here, I'll charge you to come on this platform, but you ain't going to give me no hush-hush money. That ain't going to happen. That's not going to happen. My name is not Judas. My name is not sellout. My name is not get along, go along. That's not my name. I'm here to sound the alarm. I'm here to blow the trumpet. I'm here to cry loud and spare not. I'm not impressed with the big, beautiful homes and the fancy cars and all the accolades and the well-dressed clothes, the clothes that people wear. I'm not in love with none of those things. And they are necessary. And I don't have the sweet by and by mentality. I'll get mine on the other side. I will need mine right now. And when I get on the other side. What's wrong with me thinking like that and want the good of the land? He did say the mink shall inherit the earth. That he did say that. According to the Bible, the scriptures. And I believe it. Now, don't get me wrong. You got some of these men of God out here, they're getting paid off a book that they didn't even write. The Bible. I'll call them Reverend Lowdown. Reverend Lowdown, there's a lake that's burning with fire waiting on you, got your name, waiting on you. All this lying you're doing and going, getting along. I remember we can run to the church. The church would be organizing marches and protests. Now the church is quiet about this immigration stuff. They're quiet because they're getting paid, especially those that have shelters. They're getting a lot of money and they're quiet. The scripture tells us that the love of money is the root of all evil. I always say the lack of money is the root of all evil too. Folks are killed for money. They'll sell a mama out for some money, for $1. That's why God can't trust some of us with some power, because we got greed in our eyes. And the scripture says it like this: all what's in the world is the lust of the eyes, pride of life, and it's not of the Father. Black people, do you want Chicago to look like South Central or Compton? Just get quiet and do nothing. Get quiet. Keep on lecture sliding and line dancing, doing these neighborhood reunions, these balloon releases, these picnics. Keep doing what you're doing, and I guarantee you're going to wake up and find yourself in the shelter on the other side with nothing. Keep doing nothing. Keep going on and feeling compassion on other folks that don't care nothing about you. And see what happens. See where you're going to land. Keep doing it. Keep having the mentality, I got mine, Martin, and you got to get yours. When we don't have the mentality as thinking as a group, keep thinking that the Republican Party is going to save you and the Democrat Party is going to save you. Keep thinking that. We are our own solution. You are black first before you are a Republican. You are a Democrat before you are a Republican. And before you gay, you black. And I keep stressing that. This platform, we bring Democrats and Republicans in one room. A year or two ago, you couldn't do it on this platform because we'll be at each other's throat. And whatever side of the aisle you stand on, black man and black woman, make sure you represent your people to the fullest. Don't let it be said that you in there smiling and grinning and turning away from our problems. Democrats and Republicans. I believe that we should have both. And remember the golden rule? I'm going to keep saying it until you get it. There are no permanent enemies in politics. That's the golden rule. And for those of us that are politically illiterate when it comes to this political process, you have to start learning. Got to start learning. We're going to take some calls tonight. We're going to show some video tonight. And we're going to have a serious conversation, a very serious conversation. I'm willing to risk it all for my people. How many of you could say that? We got to keep it real, people. We can't be no punk representing black folks at all. We got to get mean. And we got to get bold and look the devil right in his face. Say, listen, we know what you are trying to do to our people. And we're not going to stand here silent and say nothing and pretend like we don't see it. This ain't going to happen. We're not going to do it, people. We're not going to stand for it. Now, if you want to call in and have a serious conversation, respectfully, you don't have to agree with the host. But what you're going to do, you're going to respect the host. And not only the host, you're going to respect the panel and those that are in the message chat. And I got a couple of videos that I want to show tonight. And I'm going to start with this one. It's an old video, but I want to make a point with this. Listen to this. Make a point.
A voucher for $9,000. You know what? I come to Chicago too. And that's what they're doing. They're telling people, and they're sending money back to Chicago, back to Venezuela, to come to Chicago because they're saying, hey, the good times are rolling there. They're taking care of everybody. Now, when we have Venezuelans that are driving cars, where did they get a driver's license? Where did they get insurance from? And then you have Venezuelans being caught with drugs and guns. Where are they getting them from?
All right. That's one of my videos that I want to show. I'm going to play it again. I'll put the number up on the screen.
Now, I've said this before. If you give me 3 meals, housing, child care, education, a voucher for $9,000, you know what? I come to Chicago too. And that's what they're doing. They're telling people, and they're sending money back to Chicago, back to Venezuela, to come to Chicago because they're saying, hey, the good times are rolling there. They're taking care of everybody. Now, when we have Venezuelans that are driving cars, where did they get a driver's license? Where did they get insurance from? And then you have Venezuelans being caught with drugs and guns. Where are they getting them from?
All right, we got another video too by our dear sister Jessica. She was at the where was she at today? At the Immigration and Refugee meeting. They had a meeting today, and Jessica spoke very well, and it may be offensive to some of you, but she told the truth and shamed the devil. And I'm going to bring that video up, and I want to hear it.
I have to agree with that young lady right there with the white jacket that said that what she's witnessing right now in America is a shame. I agree with you. As a black person who got generations and generations and generations of people over here, I agree with you. It is a shame to watch pseudo counterfeit, I'm talking a pseudo counterfeit protest go on in the streets of America. See, I'm looking for the real protest. I'm looking for some billy clubs. I'm looking for some water hoses. I'm looking for some German shepherds being people, sick on people. That's what I'm looking for. That's what American protests look like. What you all doing is a clown show. And then you sit here and you laugh, look the other way, and want somebody to have compassion on what you all are doing. Your protest is boring because it don't have no soul to it. It has no meaning to it. For him to sit here and be laughing, for you to have, quote, the Constitution and what constitutional rights are, it just goes to show how uneducated you all are in American history. It goes to show that the only thing that you know to do is come to America and feed on the resources. You have no idea what you all are talking about. You want us to feel sorry for people being took away from their kids and all that. We already been there, done that. Who felt sorry for our families being separated? Clearly, y'all don't, because you don't even respect us right now today, but you want our heart to bleed and go pitter-patter. But this, for y'all to be on soil that ain't even yours, then you're going to sit up here and try to manipulate this by finding some knucklehead, weak black people who will sit up here and make like they're coming for us. They're coming for us. They're coming for black people next. They're coming for black people next. When first of all, you know that ain't true. But if you believe it, take a look at this, immigrants. Take a look at black people. If Trump or the troops or the National Guard is coming for black people, notice this, we ain't running. We ain't running. We ain't running to Puerto Rico and Mexico. And I'm talking about let us in. The troops after us. No, we standing right here. And we facing our government. And we doing what we need to do for the United States government. Right here, right now. Something that y'all can never do. Look at that knucklehead. You telling us that I got to address you, but she can do stuff like that. That's why y'all not getting them seats back. You're not getting them back. All the money that you use for your illegals, you better run back to your home countries with it, because you're not getting them seats back. You're really not. So go get a real protest and a real cause, because Michael Rodriguez, you're done.
We're going to play that again. That was deep, wasn't it? Play that again.
I have to agree with that young lady right there with the white jacket that said that what she's witnessing right now in America is a shame. I agree with you. As a black person who got generations and generations and generations of people over here, I agree with you. It is a shame to watch pseudo counterfeit, I'm talking, a pseudo counterfeit protest go on in the streets of America. See, I'm looking for the real protest. I'm looking for some billy clubs. I'm looking for some water hoses. I'm looking for some German shepherds being people, sick on people. That's what I'm looking for. That's what American protests look like. What you all doing is a clown show. And then you sit here and you laugh, look the other way, and want somebody to have compassion on what you all are doing. Your protest is boring because it don't have no soul to it. It has no meaning to it. For him to sit here and be laughing, for you to half quote the Constitution and what constitutional rights are, it just goes to show how uneducated you all are in American history. It goes to show that the only thing that you know to do is come to America and feed on the resources. You have no idea what you all are talking about. You want us to feel sorry for people being took away from their kids and all that. We already been there, done that. Who felt sorry for our families being separated? Amen. Clearly, y'all don't, because you don't even respect us right now today, but you want our heart to bleed and go pitter-patter. But this, for y'all to be on soil that ain't even yours, then you're going to sit up here and try to manipulate this by finding some knucklehead, weak black people who will sit up here and make like they're coming for us. They're coming for us. They're coming for black people next. They're coming for black people next. When first of all, you know that ain't true. But if you believe it, take a look at this, immigrants. Take a look at black people. If Trump or the troops or the National Guard is coming for black people, notice this, we ain't running. We ain't running. We ain't running to Puerto Rico and Mexico. And I'm talking about let us in. The troops after us. No, we standing right here. And we facing our government. And we doing what we need to do for the United States government. Right here, right now. Something that y'all can never do. Look at that knucklehead. You telling us that I got to address you, but she can do stuff like that. That's why y'all not getting them seats back. You're not getting them back. All the money that you use for your illegals, you better run back to your home countries with it, because you're not getting them seats back. You're really not. So go get a real protest and a real cause, because Michael Rodriguez, you're done. Laugh on that.
Woo! One more time, y'all. One more time. We're going to discuss this. One more time. Put the phone up there.
With that young lady right there with the white jacket that said that what she's witnessing right now in America is a shame. I agree with you. As a black person who got generations and generations and generations of people over here, I agree with you. It is a shame to watch pseudo counterfeit, I'm talking, a pseudo counterfeit protest go on in the streets of America. See, I'm looking for the real protest. I'm looking for some billy clubs. I'm looking for some water hoses. I'm looking for some German shepherds being people, sick on people. That's what I'm looking for. That's what American protests look like. What you all doing is a clown show. And then you sit here and you laugh, look the other way and want somebody to have compassion on what you all are doing. Your protest is boring because it don't have no soul to it. It has no meaning to it. For him to sit here and be laughing, for you to have quote the Constitution and what constitutional rights are, it just goes to show how uneducated you all are in American history. It goes to show that the only thing that you know to do is come to America and feed on the resources. You have no idea what you all are talking about. You want us to feel sorry for people being took away from their kids and all that. We already been there, done that. Who felt sorry for our families being separated? Clearly, y'all don't, because you don't even respect us right now today, but you want our heart to bleed and go pitter-patter. But this, for y'all to be on soil that ain't even yours, then you're going to sit up here and try to manipulate this by finding some knucklehead, weak black people who will sit up here and make like they're coming for us. They're coming for us. They're coming for black people next. They're coming for black people next. When first of all, you know that ain't true. But if you believe it, take a look at this, immigrants. Take a look at black people. If Trump or the troops or the National Guard is coming for black people, notice this, we ain't running. We ain't running. We ain't running to Puerto Rico and Mexico. And I'm talking about let us in. The troops after us. The troops. No, we standing right here. And we facing our government. And we doing what we need to do for the United States government right here, right now. Something that y'all can never do. Look at that knucklehead. You telling us that I got to address you, but she can do stuff like that. That's why y'all not getting those seats back. You're not getting them back. All the money that you use for your illegals, you better run back to your home countries with, because you're not getting them seats back. You're really not. So go get a real protest and a real cause, because Michael Rodriguez, you're done. Laugh on that.
Whew. That was a mouthful. We got a couple of callers. We're going to go with the callers. Lord have mercy. I believe Marcus. Go ahead, Marcus. I heard you. Go ahead, Marcus.
Yeah, I just want to say this. You've always said race first, right?
That's it, bro. All day.
And some black people get mad. I'm with you on the race first. And I don't see nothing wrong. I know earlier you had something about, is it wrong for ICE to deport undocumented immigrants? I don't see nothing wrong with that. But to be honest with you, ICE ain't on the black people's side. Ain't none of them on the black people's side. White supremacy is in full bloom in our face. Both parties don't want us in these major cities. They don't want our people in charge of these major cities. And then what pisses me off is that our people get in office and they establish their own little class. It's called the black bourgeoisie, if I'm pronouncing it right. And they forget about their own poor. And they get in these positions and they don't work for black people. They only come in the black community when they want to get reelected. They only want to feed the homeless black people when they want to look good and get reelected and take a photo op to say that they're doing something. Any black person that supports illegal immigration, shame on you, because we are being pushed out of the jobs. And you wonder why these young people are out here killing each other. And I'm not making excuses for young people carjacking and doing all that, but you wonder why. Because their parents don't have no resources to feed them, to provide for them. So they're doing it on their own, and they have lost hope because our politicians, our preachers, and even the teachers have failed our black community. I'm not going to sit here and defend people who come across the border illegal and say that they have rights. You don't have any rights because the people who are born here don't seem to have any rights. And white people, some white people who are so prejudiced, who's supposed to not like us, why they in our neighborhoods patrolling our streets harassing us? Why they all in the black man's business? Why every time a black man try to open up a business, it's hard for him? Why every time the black community try to break away from this wicked government and start their own community economically, they tear us down? They really don't hate us. They love us because they all in our business. And they're using these illegal immigrants as a distraction. They really want us. Trump wants us. The Democrats, they want black people. They want to put us back in slavery. They want to do what they did to us back in the day and think that we're going to tolerate it today. Well, this is a new breed of black people. And we ain't got nothing to lose but our life. We ain't got nothing to lose but the change that they put on us. And we're not going to tolerate what some of our people tolerated back in the 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. We're not going to tolerate that because you've taken everything from us. You've taken food out of our mouths. You've taken a roof from over our head. And you tell us we're lazy and we don't want to work. We don't want to work for pennies. We want the same benefits that you all are getting. We want the same respect, but yet you won't leave us alone. I'm talking to the white supremacists. You won't leave us alone. So you really don't hate us. You love us because you want to keep us close to you. It's almost like a woman and a man fighting each other over arguing an abusive relationship. If white people hate us, why are they all in our neighborhood? Why are they all in our business?
Mm-hmm.
And why are they using the Mexicans to try to infiltrate us to cut us out of the jobs? They even bring Africans over here and said it and gave some to black people. And even the Africans think that they're better than black people.
Has joined.
And they're not. They see us all as ninjas. You know, I can't say the word on your live, but you know what I mean. They see us all as ends. And until we realize that if the Africans, you're no better than I am. And I heard some Nigerians talking in a restaurant a few years ago about black Americans are stupid. They ain't taking advantage of these opportunities. You know what I told those two guys? Y'all black so-and-sos would not be sitting in this restaurant if it wasn't for black Americans. I just had to let that out, Mark.
All right. Well, let me help you out on something. You started making a quote. Asada Shakur said, "It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. We must love and support each other. We have nothing to lose but our chains." And that's real talk. That's real talk, brother. That is so. I know what you meant, and I had to say it. I haven't said that quote in a long time. It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. We must love each other and support each other. We have nothing to lose but our chains. They don't know nothing about that, brother. They don't know nothing about that.
I don't care about these illegal immigrants.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about these illegal immigrants.
Mm-hmm.
They knew what they were in for, and then the Mexicans sat up there and voted for Trump. So you knew what you was in for.
Mm-hmm.
And just like some black people, you know, I'm not knocking you.
Go ahead, say it, brother. Tell the truth.
People in general.
Tell the truth.
Some black people voted for Trump.
You
knew what Trump was
and
about.
shame the devil.
So whatever happens, don't cry. Don't cry just like some of us voted for Brandon Johnson. But the problem with that is that you have too many ninjas running up against each other that divide the vote. I believe Helen was talking about a voters block. We can't get Negroes to do that because everybody wants to run up against each other, and some of them are paid off to do it so that they can get a white candidate in City Hall. And it ain't going to be no better. It's not going to be any better. We blaming Brandon Johnson now, but if Paul Vallis had that seat, we'd be blaming him. If Daley had that seat, we would be blaming him. Whoever gets that seat is going to take on the heat that seat has to offer.
I agree. Y'all, this is what we've been heated up about. Hold on, Marcus. We've been heated up about this. Let me put that video up again for those that don't. This video Jessica made today. Let me see how I get this video up. Let me get this right here. All right. Pull it up here again. Yeah, because it's crazy, people. This is crazy. And she listen, Jessica went in. Let me pull this video up. Up. All right, hold on. All right, I'm gonna come to y'all callers. I'm coming callers, but I want to pull this video up, and I appreciate this video. The sister, allowing us to share this video because it's much needed, people. It is much needed. Much needed. Let me put this video up because that's sister. She spoke. She spoke volumes on that, boy. I tell you. Yeah. And and listen, people, we have to love on each other.
I have to agree with that young lady right there with the white jacket that said that what she's witnessing right now in America is a shame. I agree with you. As a black person who got generations and generations and generations of people over here, I agree with you. It is a shame to watch pseudo counterfeit. I'm talking a pseudo counterfeit protests go on in the streets of America. See, I'm looking for the real protests. I'm looking for some billy clubs. I'm looking for some water hoses. I'm looking for some German shepherds being people, sick on people. That's what I'm looking for. That's what American protests look like. What you all doing is a clown show. And then you sit here and you laugh, look the other way, and want somebody to have compassion on what you all are doing. Your protest is boring because it don't have no soul to it. It has no meaning to it. For him to sit here and be laughing, for you to half quote the Constitution and what constitutional rights are, it just goes to show how uneducated you all are in American history. It goes to show that the only thing that you know to do is come to America and feed on the resources. You have no idea what you all are talking about. You want us to feel sorry for people being took away from their kids and all that. We already been there, done that. Who felt sorry for our families being separated? Clearly, y'all don't, because you don't even respect us right now today, but you want our heart to bleed and go pitter patter. But this, for y'all to be on soil that ain't even yours, then you're going to sit up here and try to manipulate this by finding some knucklehead, weak black people who will sit up here and make like they're coming for us. They're coming for us. They're coming for black people next. They're coming for black people next. When first of all, you know that ain't true. But if you believe it, take a look at this, immigrants. Take a look at black people. If Trump or the troops or the National Guard is coming for black people, notice this, we ain't running. We ain't running. We ain't running to Puerto Rico and Mexico. And they're talking about let us in.
Yeah.
The troops after us. The troops. No, we standing right here. And we facing our government. And we doing what we need to do for the United States government right here, right now. Something that y'all can never do. Look at that knucklehead. You telling us that I got to address you, but she can do stuff like that. That's why y'all not getting them seats back. You're not getting them back. All the money that you use for your illegals, you better run back to your home countries with it, because you're not getting them seats back. You're really not. So go get a real protest and a real cause, because Michael Rodriguez, you're done.
Okay, that was let me explain what was going on here. So those of you, Jessica, I spoke with Jessica just before I came on the video, and Jessica told me that that is the Committee of Immigration and Refugee Rights. So, and the person that she was referring to is the alderman, the chairman is Alderman Andrew. Was it Andrew Vasquez? Okay, that's who she was referring to. So he's over that. He's over the Committee of Immigration and Refugee Rights. That's what he's over here. See, where's the Black Caucus for Black folks' rights? Where's the Black Caucus? That's what I'm talking about. Let's get to these callers, y'all. Thank y'all for so holding. I see your jab. Got one before you. 9433. Come on, caller.
Caller.
Yes. Come on, 90.
Hey, Mark.
How you doing?
I don't feel sorry for them. They have been in our country. I totally agree with everything Jessica says. They want to come over here and just take over. They cannot do that. I totally agree with everything Marcus had to say. I do not feel sorry for them. They need to go back where they came from.
Okay. Thank you, my dear sister. 281. 281.
Martin, how you doing tonight?
Oh man, I'm on fire tonight, boy. I'm on fire.
I hear you, man.
I'm
I
in
hear
war
you. Hear you.
mode.
I
I'm
hear
in
you.
mode, bro. I'm in war mode.
Sounds like it, man. Sounds like it. Listen, I want to say peace and love to the panel, and may God bless all. You got a topic tonight, and it's going to be a bunch of people listening in, and a bunch of people that's going to agree and disagree. Um, we need strong black politicians that care about us as a community and as a people. And we got social disconnect with our own race of people. Of course, we always talk about that. That video that you showed, that happened some time ago, but nevertheless, it happened. Um, I like what she did. I didn't like the fact that that lady got up and walked out of the room. I mean, that's what people, they gave up. They gave up on us, Martin. And we need some strong politicians to come in that look like us. They care about the community and people. They're giving us these options. Either you gonna shut up, black a ninja, and deal with what's going on here, or you can pack your bags and leave. And it's a big slap in the face, of course, with all the immigrants that flushed through here. They gave money to flowers and food and everything else. It's a huge slap in the face. But how long are we, as a race of people, gonna stand here and take it? You see what I'm saying? How long we gonna take it before we stand up and do something? And if we do something, they're ready to kill us. Let's say we go back to the old school days where we had community places where we can go and get our stuff together and motivate ourselves to go out and protest and stuff like that. Like the lady said with the dogs and the water cannons. They waiting on that, Martin. They waiting on that, man. And we got tough roads ahead of us here in America. I ain't getting up on the place because I can't just walk away from equity. I refuse to walk away from money. We just need some strong black politicians to come in. That Million Man March thing was a beautiful thing that happened back then. It showed a lot of unity, a lot of love, a lot of respect for the black race of people that just came and just marched. That's powerful. Now, let's say that happened 2026. It may be a problem. Guns may be involved, a whole bunch of things. I mean, we have been taught to stay in check. We have been taught that you will get attacked if we come in groups. We've been taught that. There's Black Panthers out there, a whole bunch of different black groups out there that are standing up for us that we don't hear about in the backgrounds, putting their lives on the line for us. Well, it's going to take a huge amount of black leaders come in and stop this madness that's happening to the African American people. I'm gonna go on mute, Martin.
Thank you,
I'm
sir.
gonna go on mute, man. Oh, before I go on mute, Martin, you did say something about early in the show. You did say something about Republicans not running Chicago. Now, I can't say for sure because I haven't lived in Chicago for years. But when you said that, I started looking up some things. Like the John Hancock building. The John Hancock building was bought by a company out of Boston in 2010, Republican. I looked up the merchandise mark, which was owned by the Kennedys. And Farnaldo Real Estate Trust Company owns that. And we can only imagine who they are. I looked up Illinois Central Gulf Railroads. Remember Illinois Central Gulf used to run through Chicago? Now they call it Illinois Central Railroad.
Okay. Well,
Canadians bought that.
Let me help you out a little bit.
Wait, I'm listening.
Politically,
Okay.
There's no Republicans running the city of Chicago.
I don't disagree.
Politically. Let me say that. So I just want to say so
Chicago has always been a Democrat city.
Right. It has
the problem with
that
city and its the problem with that city and its Democrat division started with Mayor Daley. It started there, and he was so good at what he did with his people riding behind them, attacking us, going to school. My sister went to Tilden. I remember them having riots at Tilden. I remember living on 52nd and Green Street. We were the first black family on 52nd and Green Street, one block over from Halsted. I went to Sherman School. We were one of the first black families that went to that school. I remember being chased home.
Okay.
I remember all these things happening to us.
All right, brother.
I remember not being able to go to the amphitheater. I'm gonna land the plane. All I'm saying is we need strong black leaders to show up, give us that love again so we can start believing because we have social division. I'm done.
Thank you, sir. Next caller, we're going to 3268, 3268. Hey,
What's
caller.
going on, Martin?
Hey, Mr. Roosevelt, how you doing?
Oh, good. I just like to say with these, legal migrants and stuff, I'm not, for it. Because why should we fight for their cause when they haven't fought for any one of our causes? I mean, because when George Floyd was killed and everything, I mean, it seemed like it was only us out there. I mean, it was none of them. It was no illegal migrants, no Somalis, no Puerto Ricans, no Mexicans, no nothing out there. Matter of fact, and everything, they only made stuff worse because when black people even lived in Cicero or around little villages and stuff, they were killing black people around there. But, a certain someone who, you call a friend, but, I probably wouldn't if I were you, but that's just me. She don't see it that way because, whenever we talk about this kind of stuff, she accuses us as black people as being racist. Whenever, we point this stuff out, that's actually like happening like right in front of our face. She would call us racist if we mention how they would let a person go out of Cook County Jail around 1 or 2 in the morning, but yet a person around that area would almost have to run. A black person would have to run for their lives around that area because even today in 2025, it's still certain areas, certain Latin areas as black people that we still can't go to. But I see this. I see this person is not talking about that. Well, she would never talk about the fact how one time I was on a bus. I was coming from the west side, and I was on the Pulaski bus, and I guess it stopped around like 31st at Comiskey, 31st in Pulaski, and I had to walk and get on the next bus. And this black bus driver, he was kind of worried about me. He was up there like, he was like, man, do you live around here? I was like, no, I'm going to go catch the next bus I got to go to because the bus that stops there, you have to go like another block or whatever to catch the Pulaski bus that's going further out south. He's like, boy, don't forget, you're in a little village. I mean, don't you think you're a little bit outside your territory? So, I mean, I had to almost run to the bus stop on 31st of Pulaski just so I could catch that bus going out south and look behind me because I didn't know like what would happen to me in a Mexican area. But she's not talking about that. She's not talking about the fact and everything like in Los Angeles, just like you mentioned earlier. How Compton back in the 80s and the 90s used to belong or be inherited by black people with maybe a few of them maybe sprinkled in. But once they let all the illegals come in, and once they got the numbers and got a foothold in that community, how they terrorized black people into moving out, how they firebomb their homes, did drive-bys, vandalized their cars, and ran black people out of South Central LA. But of course, she's not talking about it. She's not talking about how the fact out in Texas there was a black man in a Family Dollar, and there was a Mexican girl in front of him, and then she had to buy some shoes. So the checkout girl kept the shoes behind the counter, and she said to her in Spanish, "Oh, we keep the shoes behind the counter because the N-words come in and steal them." She didn't know that this black man could actually understand Spanish or understand what she said. But no one wants to talk about this stuff. So it's like whenever we point this stuff out, they always want to call us racist and being divisive, but no one ever wants to attack the other side of what's going on. And I think it's completely unfair. That's how come I am not on the side of the legal migrants. Let them go back exactly like where they came from.
Thank you, Mr. Roosevelt. All right, we're going to area code 219. Indiana area code. Come on, caller. 219.
What's going on, Marcus and chat? How y'all feeling today?
We're great.
Great.
Has joined.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to call in. I'm always in the chat, but I wanted to call in today. I feel some type of way as well. When you walk outside your home, you see a million illegals in your neighborhood. You know your neighborhood is predominantly a black neighborhood. Like you said, they sent all the illegals to our neighborhood and our areas. They ain't send them to the white folks' neighborhood. They ain't gonna take them in the Mexican neighborhoods, but they'll send them to the black neighborhoods, which we fought against when they first tried to come, and they still sent them to our neighborhoods. I feel like in the future it's gonna turn out real bad because we already got to deal with the white people, we're racist, the Asian people, the Mexicans. We get deal with so much. Now we dealing with we can't find a job. They give them houses, give them cars, they give them everything for free while we over there struggling to barely survive. I'm a taxpayer citizen, been paying taxes since I was 18 years old. Resident of Chicago. I've been staying here my whole life. I've never seen Chicago look this depressed, this dirty. You know what I mean? No jobs. It's very depressing right now. So I'm just hoping we look for a change. I just want to say to my black people, please stand up. Stop all the unnecessary killing. And, all the little crazy things that's going on, we need to stand up and, come together. That's all I want to say, Marcus.
I appreciate you, my brother. We're going to go to the next caller, 9461. Hey, caller, you're live, uncut, unedited. 9461.
Hey, Martin, is that me?
Hey, Mama House, how you doing?
Hey, baby, I'm doing okay. I was listening in.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you?
All right.
I was listening in, and the greatest thing I was always raised upon is knowledge. Now, somebody got their TV or something going, a radio or something playing.
Okay, I need
in the background.
Okay, I need everybody to pull everything. Listen, I'm gonna have to mute everybody. Hold on, go ahead, Mama House. Talk. I'm finna mute everybody. So
okay, now let me say something. I am sick of looking at these immigrants here. I really am, and they should go back to where they come from. But I just want.
Okay, what happened? What happened? Mama House?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, your phone went blank for a minute. Go ahead.
All this, what people don't realize.
Okay, your phone was going blank. Okay. Mama House.
Yes.
Your phone is going in and out. I don't know if you're putting your mouth away from the phone, it's just blanking out. It's just going in and out.
No, I'm not putting my mouth over my phone.
Okay. Okay, try it again. Try it again.
Hello, Martin.
That's better. Go ahead. Keep down.
Okay. See, first of all,
isn't that something? Wow. It's doing it again, Mama House. It's doing it again.
Okay.
We couldn't hear you. I'm sorry. I don't know what's the problem.
I can hear you good.
Yeah, but we
can
can
hear you good.
Yeah, but we couldn't hear you because like the moment you start talking, you talk for a little bit, it just go blank. I don't know what that is. Do you have anything playing in the background or anything? You shouldn't.
I don't have anything planned.
Okay.
No. I know Martin rules.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, let's try it again. Let's try it again. All right.
Okay, Martin, can you?
Yes. Just Now, okay, go ahead. Let me say something. Say
Now,
one.
you hear the gentleman talking?
Is somebody talking in the background? Should nobody be talking? Hold on. Somebody
Yes,
just called. Hold on.
it's somebody talking.
Let me mute. Let me mute that. Mute that. Okay. What about? Can you hear anybody?
Yes,
You still hear people?
you talking about prepare yourself.
Okay. I need everybody to put your phone on silent. Put everybody on mute. Okay, Mama House. So I do hear some back. I heard somebody.
Yes. Okay. But only thing I want to say is that to our people, as you say, Martin, our brown people is what they're calling us. Okay. Let me say this: the deal was already made. The deal was already made. We was just sleeping, and when we woke up, they came in. Okay. Our politicians, Brandon Johnson, Chrysler, they already made the deal. It has been cut. Okay. And you know why? For this election. That's all. It's for the election. And after this is over, they're still going to be here, Martin.
Mm-hmm.
They're still going to be here because it's just like when you go to the store, they're taking over. And we, as brown people, really black people, need to stop patronizing Macy's and all the rest of these stores, Chick-fil-A's when they open them up.
Tell the truth.
Stop
And
patronizing
shame
these
the
people.
devil. Mm-hmm.
We got to say so. Those left the west side on Madison and moved out here in Berkeley, Illinois. Okay? Because his name was put out there. And when his name was put out there, people stopped doing business with him.
Mm-hmm.
What people? Our people. Because what our people do? We love pork. We love fish on Fridays. We got to wake up and smell the coffee. And if they listen in onto what your program is saying every night about these immigrants, they would get some knowledge. But baby, without knowledge, you're not going to get anything. And these folks don't want no knowledge. They want to say that that's their friends. Their people ain't our friends. They come here to get what they want and send it back to Mexico or wherever they live it at. And what do? We want to travel to Mexico. For what? To see what? They already here. You're seeing them. That's all I want to say, baby, because this election coming up, it's going to be a hell of an election,
Yes,
I'm telling you. If our people do not wake up, this one is going to show it. Say Mama House told you. And I want you to carry this election for 26, baby. Because it's going to be off the chain.
I'm there.
Yes.
I'm there.
Carry it. Because, see, Brandon made 5 different churches Sunday. He out there. He's out there. And we got to be out there too. We have got to come together as a community like we used to do years ago. Have our weekly meetings and see how we're going to set up an agenda to oppose whoever, to these people.
That's it. I agree. Okay. Thank you, Mama House.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, baby.
All right. All right. We go to 214. 214. I had skipped you. I'm sorry. 214. Be red. Go ahead. I had skipped you. I'm sorry.
Hey, brother.
Hey,
how
bro.
y'all doing today?
Good.
Martin, why don't you tell us how you really feel? I don't think you told us how you really feel.
I told us. I told you guys.
Yeah, I said to myself, somebody must have stepped on Martin's toes today or something, because I ain't seen this much fire in a long time, brother.
It's
and
there.
Everything you said was amen. Everything you said was amen. Bring that when you come.
Yeah,
that was right on the money right there.
Because you know what, I'm tired,
100%.
brother. I'm tired of tiptoeing and trying to be nice and all that, man. Let's just keep it real, man. Our people are in the war, man. This is the art of war, bro. And we got to quit playing with these people. Quit playing with them. They are not our friends. They are not our friends. Period.
That's fine.
And I'm not going to pretend like that they are friends. They are not our friends. They are here to compete, and they're doing a good job of it for resources.
And they're getting help. And
Yes.
see, that's the sick part of this. You know, a $9,000 voucher when the list in Dallas, Texas for housing is over 5,000 people. They just bypassed them 5,000 sisters and brothers that got kids that's sleeping nowhere in their cars and everywhere else. Little store from California, you're gonna make it quick. Went out there, got lost. GPS sent me through a neighborhood, and I got this great big old truck, and I'm looking for a place. So I went down the street. It's a city street. I'm scared. Going down a regular, neighborhood street, and I got to noticing Suburban, van, station wagon, and then with that, they had changed generators to their bumpers. So when GPS had me lost, I went back through there again. I paid a little bit more attention, and it dawned on me: if you ain't got a physical address, you can't get no benefits. You can't get no job. So these people are renting space on the city streets in front of people's houses, so they'll have a physical address so they can get benefits. See, this is how bad it can get if you allow this to continue. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the Mexicans, the American-born Mexicans, the Chicanos, the ones that was already here, who enabled their cousins and their cousins' cousins to come over here and live illegally, help them get established and get jobs. See, we always leave that part of it out. They've been complicit in this. Because, see, they gave these folks a help up when they knew they wasn't illegal. These folks ain't coming over here with no place to stay. Because, hell, if you ain't got no place to stay in this country, you up under a bridge. No, they stand with their cousins. They stand with their homeborn and their wife people. See, they doing this. And the Chicanos that was born and raised over here enabled them and helped them. That's how they was able to take over Compton. Because one thing about Compton, if you don't know anything about California, there is a city river that divides two sides of Compton. You got the black side, you got the Mexican side, which is how they ended up with all this gang problems, because you had a red side and you had a blue side. And the only thing that divided them was a sewage trench. Now, I don't know if y'all city is set up like that in Chicago, but this is how it was in that particular area of the country. So let's get back to Chicago. I expect the people up there to fight against this vigorously, to continue to put your politicians to the fire over this. Because that $1 billion that they blew on these people was $1 billion that could have cleaned up every neighborhood city, every neighborhood block in Chicago. It could have provided job training programs, release programs for people coming back from prison. This could have helped out so many people and did the right thing and put Chicago's blacks and other minority people, American minorities, on a better plane. They would have gave them a hand up. The crime would be lower. Let me tell you what Chicago does have. I look up the population of blacks in Chicago. It's 769,000 blacks in Chicago. I do not know how many of them are eligible to vote. But y'all must mobilize, and y'all must be true to your word. Just like you can get up there and talk to the folks and put her finger in their face like she did. But y'all have to back her up by actually voting these people the hell out of office. This is facts. Brandon Johnson must go because he has an agenda. He's being backed by some very powerful people. I don't know who they are. But when they tell him to jump, he jumps. So somewhere along the line, y'all got to find yourself a messiah in 20 different districts, and those where your aldermen are more like Alderman Davis from Good Times. He's glad to see his favorite family in the project. I'm sure he was. That's how long they've been talking about Chicago politics, since 1973, that I remember as a child. This is exactly where they want y'all at. Cornered. So a select few blacks can have something, and the rest of y'all down here scrambling and fighting over crumbs. This can't be. Y'all got the population. Do what Fred Hampton said. Power to the people and vote. And vote those folks out. And vote in people who can't be bought. Vote in people who have a B1 agenda all the way. My plane is on the ground. Go ahead,
Thank you.
Martin. You can take it from there.
Okay. I think it's Buck. Come on, Buck. 6650. 6650. I think that's Buck.
What's good? What's good? Buck in the house.
Hey, Buck.
Yeah, yeah, man. Today, but I've been heard a few times when I get a chance. You had this lady Renee, and of course your boy the Minstrel Man, the old timer. This is for everybody that's slow to the game. I'm gonna break down some things. And after we got our civil rights in 1970, about 1970, they came up with this group called Hispanic. They made up in America, which consisted of everybody from Mexican to Cuban. They just lumped them in. All they had to do was speak Spanish. And then about in the 70s, they started including them in the census. So this is a man-made, American-made group to compel against us after we got our civil rights in the 60s. So everybody who's all so worried about them, the people that be in America after we got civil rights, they tried to include them in our civil rights, which the people was already the white. They was the cause themselves white people at that time, or Chicanos, like my man said previously. Now they call themselves every group there is from a day Hispanic. Now they believe that they got, that they've been entitled because our government, the politicians, and everybody that's going to get money, they use them for cheap labor. Because they wouldn't give us union jobs in Chicago. Even as a kid, until Harold Washington opened up the fire department and Washburn Training School, which they moved out of Chicago because they didn't want black people to have good jobs. The unions were never our friends in Chicago. For all the people that believe that we are being racist as a man, our equality, which the 40 acres of mule, they denied that. Then they came up with Jim Crow and other things. Now they gave us a so-called civil rights bill. Everybody that come in America in the last 40 years or 50 years claiming they got rights to it. White women, gay people, everybody say they had been entitled for the so-called, what do you call it? They call it DEA, or what they call it, affirmative action, which most people, white folks and other people use it more than us. And the Hispanics are doing that now. Because they can now, if you look at television, either you'll have a gay person or Indian or Mexican. They don't even need black people no more on TV. And if they do use a black person, they're going to get somebody from overseas. They don't even want us no more. Fact of the matter, Brandon Johnson's record, I looked him up. He was a school teacher for 4 years, and I know a lot of friends of mine was teachers for years. They retired. And he would not get tenure after 4 years. He taught one school 3 years, the other one 1 year at Western House Prep Academy, I think. And they did not tender him to stay as a teacher there. So he had to find something else to do. He a hustler. He gonna do whatever he say, like Obama, anybody else. They get out here for that money. They brought and paid. The people that control this system, bringing all these people in, number one, it's correct. They want us out of here. They don't want us because we ain't got nowhere to go. So they trying to force our hand, so we got to either kill each other or we just get out the system and just give up. Because so many people that moved out of Chicago since Harold Washington, and one time we was almost 4 million strong in Cook County during the 80s. But now, after the violence got so strong, everybody done fled Chicago. Not only the suburbs, they getting the hell out the state. And now they low in population because we used to control it. And in Chicago, we used to have half of the aldermen was black people. Now you got almost equal with the whites and Hispanics. Now they're taking over because a lot of black people moved out of Chicago. They moved in different areas and they redistricted it. So now blacks don't have the power we once have. And then says, Lord, it ain't just it wasn't just Brandon. Daley was in there, the son, when he got back in there after Harold Washington died. The only reason he got become mayor because Tim Evans and Sawyer ran against each other, split the black vote. And therefore, Daley walked in there and ran a 20 whatever deal he ran in there and finished mopping us up because his daddy did a good job of fucking us up, in the beginning, because he had projects and he was a racist. His grandfather was a part of that 1919 riot in Chicago by the 31st Street Beach. So they have a history of destroying our people. But our black people, like they always sing Kumbaya and they go along, we should be nice. They don't give a damn about us. Your reality is use common sense. Look at their track record. The Mexicans come in our neighborhoods. They don't want nothing to do with us. You can't go to them. If you open up, where I'm at, I know in the South Suburb, and I know some people, at the flea market in Robbins out there. That Mexican guy, know him. I wouldn't buy a potato chip from that guy because he's a piece of garbage. And he told the story one time. You was in line and he took a Mexican lady over you. I wouldn't even buy nothing from him because first of all, he don't wash his hands. God bless him. He can get that to a dog and the dog might turn it down. I wouldn't want nothing he sell. So the fact of the matter is, We always complain, but everybody said black people always gonna feel, oh, we should forgive them and give them another chance. The preachers will tell you that. Like I said before, when Laquan McDonald, when we was ready to go at it, when they killed that young boy for no reason, the police, we were finna go. Then they had to round up all the gatekeepers, all the preachers, all the niggers, and all the following lawsuit. We need to have a march for peace. For what? We've been peaceful all this time, and you like it said never where you ain't gonna ask somebody to give you nothing because they ain't gonna give it to you if you keep asking for it. Unless you're willing to die for what you believe in, ain't nothing finna change. They'll bring 1,000 million more people in this country, and they'll step right over us until we unite as black people, know our proper polarity in this world, and stand up and ready to go. When the people like the Mr. Man, I ain't gonna know it, and you know what I'm talking about. When he's talking about the Democrats don't give a damn about us. Politicians don't care. They a hustler. It's like a pimp hustling a preacher. They're the same cat. They talking about different vernacular, but they still running game on you. So whoever running the game on you, that's who's gonna get you. So you keep on trusting in these people that gonna be nice to you. And I can guarantee you that the Mr. Man got a white Jesus in his house. And I'm gonna tell you this before I ride out. I had an African buddy from Ghana. I used to work with the brother about 10 years ago. And I said, brother, you from the motherland. What color is Jesus over there in Africa and Ghana? He said, Jesus is white. I said, what, in the motherland? He said, they love the white man in Africa. We've been so colonized, brainwashed, and conditioned to accept the nonsense that we accepting. We don't see nothing wrong with being hung, being raped, or being tortured. We think it's normal. Young kids running riot in our neighborhoods, killing everybody, and we think it's okay to protect them from being violent and not turning them scumbags in. I heard a rapper say today, we got rap music that's tell about we all we do is embrace people who try to kill each other. Like rappers who talk about they enlighten about killing and degrading women. We love that shit. We kind of worship that stuff, our young people. But it's talking about doing something positive and something straight. They don't want to hear that stuff. Everything we have in our community is around with music, and he's talking about derogatory things. If you was up there playing, and then our women the same way, the young girls, all they think about is money and materialism, and they right in the white man's hand. Until you know who you are, the material things don't matter in this world because you gonna leave them to somebody when you leave this world. Ain't nobody gonna live forever in this world. So if you worried about money and things, you might as well just fall in the hole and die now because it ain't gonna matter when you leave this world. So the thing about leaving a legacy to tell people that who you was in this life and that you tried to, like we talk about Malcolm today and Martin Luther King. Those brothers they died for what they believed in. And ain't too many people that follow them after their footsteps is willing to do the same. So God bless and keep hope alive. Peace.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Buck. Come on, 206. 206.
Hey. It's good to hear.
I've been calling your phone. You got me.
Right.
You got me blocked. It's going straight to the voicemail. I've been calling you.
Man, I got to check on that.
Yeah,
man.
check on that because
I'm not sure.
I wanted to call you. I got a plan for us. Go ahead. But go ahead. Talk. Go ahead. Go ahead. 206.
We'll talk about it.
Okay. Go ahead.
But real quick, we're talking about hiring politicians that have our interests at heart, and that's something I definitely agree with. But the world we live in, the universe is duality rules the day. So what does that have to do with politics? While we're getting politicians in place that have our interests at heart, people listen to what I'm saying. The late Dr. Amos Wilson talked about this. We need to learn military sciences as well as economics, all that other stuff. Military science is a very important thing to learn. Let me tell you what I'm talking about real quick. While we're getting true leaders to represent us in the state, a mayorship, or city council, we need to do this. We need to be legally, politically attacking and eliminating politicians that are our sworn enemies, not just what they say, but what they do. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about.
Tell the truth.
Do y'all remember?
And shame the devil.
Do y'all remember in early 2000s, there was a scandal among the arch conservative family value Republicans. Remember the gay sex scandal? Y'all remember that? About the time when they had the gay marriage vote and all that stuff. You had Tim Foley, who was Speaker of the House, and he's chasing the congressional pages, the teenage boys, and sending them all kind of dirty pictures. Remember the other politician? What was his name? I forget his name now, but he was in the bathroom. His name was Ed Schrock, I think it was. He was in the bathroom in the airport in Minnesota trying to solicit sex with undercover dude. They call it the tap-tip-tippity tap. The gays went in there to do something strange for whatever, and they would do these foot taps to communicate with each other. And it was a whole slew of these Republicans, and I'm not picking on Republicans, I'm just using this as an example, that got busted, their family values, conservative Republicans, and they were closeted, deviant, disgusting homosexuals that were doing stuff that was disgusting. But now check this out. The person that outed them was a gay rights activist dude by the name of Michael Rogers. And he had founded a blog called Netroots Connection. And he had got other LGBT people to attack to do research and attack these politicians because they oppose gay marriage. Now, listening to this and knowing this, I suspected, and now it's starting to come out, that there were Democratic donors with big money that was behind Michael Rogers. They didn't want these Republicans out of office because of the gay marriage thing. They wanted them out of office because they had vetoed money going to certain countries. So what they did was they got rid of these guys by looking into their histories. Now, let me tell you something. I'm going to wrap this up. We've got so many retired black police officers who are detectives, Cook County Sheriff's deputies. We got in the city of Chicago a gang of black private investigators. And see, this is when people look at how corrupt Chicago is, they get discouraged. No. Don't get discouraged, because if Chicago is so corrupt, that means that some of the politicians that we need to be getting rid of right now have dirt in their background and skeletons in their closet. So while we're putting the leadership we want in place, we need teams of people to look into and investigate the histories of these people so we can get them out of office. I guarantee you, if you went to the Chicago City Council and you looked at council members that weren't doing what they were supposed to do or were because there's a lot of them that are pro-immigrant and pro-migrant. If you looked in their histories, you would uncover something where they, after they know that what you have in hand, they would resign their post because they didn't want to go to jail. So that's something we definitely need to think about. I'll say that, and I'll mute my line. Great show.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you. Come on, P. Ray. P. Ray.
Hey, Martin, how you doing?
How you doing?
I am wonderful. I'm doing well. For those who don't know, I am P. Ray Easley, the founder and chair of Chicago Red, candidate for the 7th Congressional District to replace Danny Davis, and a liaison to the White House from the city of Chicago, a muse of President Trump. Shout out to my Donnie. Martin, everything I told y'all was going to happen, happening, ain't it?
What's happening?
Did I lie?
You didn't lie, P. Ray.
Everybody thought it was a game. Everybody thought it was a game. Everybody thought P. Ray should send her Donnie. She's just showing out for Trump. She's just doing this, blah, blah, blah. No, this is real life, guys. We are in the middle of an invasion. And what they are trying to do is get black people riled up so that they can use our black against ICE. And then one black person gets hurt, then the riots can start around the country. So I'm asking my people who are listening, please get out the way. Please get out the way. Don't go out there. Don't get no phones. Don't get in these people's business. Just slide to the side. This is not your business. This is not your business. This is not your business. On October 3rd, they went over there to the Walmart on North Avenue in Costner and raided it. And guess what, y'all? We still alive on the west side. We still thriving. Nobody got hurt. Just get out the way. This is not your business. We are dealing with people who chose to be trafficked, who paid to be trafficked. Okay, Martin? It costs them anywhere between $7,000 to $15,000, and each person paid that to an international criminal organization to bring them here on us. The state of Illinois spent $2,500,000,000 on health care for them alone. $2,500,000,000. You know what we could have did with that kind of money? But they've been playing with us this whole time. Tomorrow, our mayor is at City Hall, and he's giving his budget address. He's about to stand before the city council and tell us why we need $17.5 billion that we do not have. We don't have no way of getting it. So they're about to tax and fine us to try to make up these budget hurdles. And they're doing this because they want to pay for the illegals. They're paying their rent. They're paying their lights. They're paying their gas. They're paying their water. They're paying their health care. They're in the schools. They got jobs. All of these things are happening. And guess who's paying it for it, y'all? Us, the taxpayers. And if we're going to spend that kind of money, it has to be on the American people because we need a lot of help for our people. So please, pretty please, Chicago, spread the word far and wide. Get out the way. They are not here to bother you. Do not believe these lies of people trying to trick you into getting involved in this, because their goal, again, is to hold on. I didn't mean to do that. Hold on. All right. Yeah, their goal is to use Black bodies as shields for ICE. And that's not our business. Get out the way. Please, when you see them people, be nice to them. Tell them thank you for coming. Y'all, we've been asking for this for years. And now it's here, and they want us to get upset. So 2 days ago, some members of the State House, some state reps, some state senators, the Speaker of the House, some non-for-profits, some preachers, the mayor Broadview, they all gathered out there at that ICE facility. It was a huge press conference, and everybody talked about the evils of ICE and why we shouldn't be doing this and how the federal government isn't being fair and blah, 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 blah. But they've never gathered like that for us. They didn't gather like that for us when we was over here on the west side fighting to keep these migrants out of our parks. That was a hard fight, y'all. They wasn't helping us then. They never came to see about us. They never came to the meetings. They never asked us what we thought about it. They didn't even go down to Springfield and say, hey, y'all, they mad in Chicago. Maybe we should adjust the law a little bit. They didn't do none of that. Instead, they've been signing bills to pay for these people to stay here to the tune of $2,500,000,000 for health care alone, so you can pay for it. And now they want you to use your whole body to go out there and fight the feds for them. Don't do it. Get out the way. Please, please, please get out the way. It is so important. That is not our business. They're not coming to bother you. If you see them, don't run. Greet them. You know, hey, how you doing? They gonna hear that accent and they gonna stop. But what they trying to do is get one of our people hurt, so then they can make it a Black versus the federal government thing, and then our people will be all riled up and angry all over the country. We're not stupid, y'all. We're not stupid. Get out the way. So thank you, Martin, for letting me speak. I wanted to share that with the people.
P. Ray, real quick before you go,
Yeah.
have you ever heard of that plan, that the New American Plan that they Ron Emanuel? Yeah. Why is it that I don't hear no politicians talking about that? Maybe you can help me out. What's up with that? I mean, go ahead.
Because they're getting paid. They're getting paid. Everything comes back to money. Everything. So when you have this plan for New Americans, which is to give immigrants all of these taxpayer-provided resources for them to get comfortable in our country, non-for-profits got to get paid. And non-for-profits act as an invisible line item in Democratic campaigns. So you fund a non-for-profit, and then they can send their workers to come work your campaign. We know what's going on. I've been over here a long time. Martin, I'm not 40 years old, and I've been in a political game in the city of Chicago for 25 years at a high level. For 25 years, I've been doing this. And that's why I'm able to, move how I move, because it's all I know how to do. Steph Curry did. He taught him how to play basketball. Tiger Woods did. He taught him to do golf. My daddy taught me how to do Chicago politics. So I know what I'm looking at. And they playing. They getting paid. They getting paid. That's why the first thing President Trump did was pull all the money for USAID, because they were funneling I won't say laundering, but funneling a lot of money to these programs and for people to get paid through USAID. This is all the money game.
All money. I believe it too. Well, thank you, P. Ray. You can hang around if you want. If not, we've been talking about these illegals I call them undocumented or unauthorized. You know, that's the proper word that they tell us to use on the
No,
face.
no,
I know, but I
no.
mean
The
that's
federal term
yeah.
is illegal alien.
Okay.
We go because when you try to soften it, that's how we get caught up. So like they were calling them migrants. The fact that they were calling them migrants is factually incorrect. No. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, P. Ray.
In the fourth grade, we learned about migration and immigration. Immigration means you come from outside the country. Migration means you move from one part of the country to another part of the country for economic reasons. Our grandparents were migrants. That's why it's called the Great Migration. When they migrated from Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, Arkansas, and came to Chicago. That's what citizens do. But by calling these immigrants, migrants, then that is elevating their status while diminishing ours. We are not the same. We ain't got nothing in common with these people. Nothing at all. Our people bury deep bone and flesh in this land. How dare they associate us with immigrants in any kind of way? It's disrespectful. That's why we got to stop saying minority, because minority includes immigrants. People of color includes immigrants. BIPOC include immigrants. So every time you cape for that group, you really caping for them while diminishing yourself. We have to talk about ourselves in terms of this American flag. That's all we are, is American. No matter how much they try to trick us, no matter how much people talk about the country sucks and we got all of these problems. Yeah, when it's said and done, you got an American passport. So you got to stand on that and be proud of your American heritage. We got a lot of bad times, but we got a whole lot of good times too. And we got to celebrate them more. But we're not going to do that if we confused about who we are and allowing these races to lump us in with the immigrants so that they can take what belongs to us. No, ain't no more black and brown. It ain't never been no black and brown. Oh, the black people don't benefit from black and brown.
Tell the truth.
Only time it's black
And
and brown
shame
is when the
the
browns
devil.
need help.
Mm-hmm.
So no, we're not doing that anymore. And that's not racist. That's not xenophobic. We are American people. We are our own ethnicity. Just like the Choctaw, just like the Cree, just like the Sioux. We are our own American tribe. We're not an immigrant group. So yeah, y'all just for real, stay out the way. Know that they lying. They about to do everything like they said the baby. They had zip tied some kids on 75th and South Shore Drive. We got a $500 bounty right now. If anybody can show a picture of a little boy or a little girl with some zip ties on their hands. The picture that they put out was from a video of a policeman playing with his son in a whole other state. And he had to make a video like, why y'all playing with my son like that?
Wow.
So yes, the lady that they had from South Shore, the guy over there, the lady that had the glasses on, and she said they put the gun in her face and all that. Somebody who stays over there made a response video and said that woman did not live in the building. Her and her boyfriend were squatting in the electrical room, and when they came, they dressed her up and put her in front of the cameras. You know what I'm saying? This is all propaganda. And they doing this to emotionally manipulate us so that we can get hurt. Stay out the way. Thank you.
Hold on, P. Ray. I need you to answer a
And
couple of questions too. Okay, but I got to let me go to old timer real quick. 206. 206, are you there? 206.
Yes, I am.
Read that screen and break it down for us. Read that screen for me.
Okay, I see something that says a coordinated implementation effort will be critical to unlocking the immense potential of Chicago's immigrants. The Office of New Americans will work with the city department and sister agencies, chambers of commerce, faith-based organizations, various ethnic and immigrant organizations, and other stakeholders to implement this plan, ensuring our place as one of the world's most immigrant-friendly cities.
So tell us what that means in your own words.
Well, it gets to what someone said earlier, that how come the politicians, they're doing all this, but they're not talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
If the person who brought Harold Washington his newspaper and his orange juice, like the brother police officer did every day, but he wasn't there on the day that Harold Washington died. If he said, this is your newspaper and your orange juice with cyanide in it, have a good morning, Harold Washington might still be alive today. Of course, they're not going to tell you what they're going to do if they're gonna kill and destroy you. So that's what these people are saying right here in this statement. They're saying we're putting together an infrastructure, we're putting together resources, political, economic, social resources, to help these people who are going to be the new Chicagoans, the new citizens.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that they leave the old citizens out
Mm-hmm.
means that those citizens are to be eliminated.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I've been reading some of this New American thing, and I haven't seen mention of Black people or us being involved in
Tell
the
the
so-called
truth
positive
and
changes at all.
shame the not at all. Not at all.
Everywhere it says immigrant should say a U.S. citizen or Black Americans. It shouldn't say immigrants at all. Immigrants should wait their way in line.
Thank you for that. Old Timer, I got a question. Old Timer, are you there?
I'm here, yes, sir.
You still hold that I shouldn't be deporting these people? Is that still your stance?
Well,
yes
I
or
mean,
no?
after listening,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
well, they have a job to do, so they don't have the power to deport, but they have the power to, well, they have some power to look into what is the immigration, whatever it stands, the ICE stands for immigration. I'm sorry, I forgot what the two words, but their power is not to deport anyone. But they have a job to carry on the mandate, and the person still have to have due process, even if they're not a citizen here. They still have to have due process, and that don't come from ICE. They sent here to round the people up. That could be their job, but they're actually not the ones that deport them. Because even if you're here and undocumented, you still have about 27 days or some weeks to go before a court system to determine what's going to happen to you before you leave it. But what they going to do with you, rather.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, everybody. So once you make it across, the main thing is to make it on the land. If you make it on the land, then you have a chance of being here. But what the man is calling for, he's claiming that people are committing crimes, and that's what he's getting and trying to keep people safe. But that could be nothing can further be from the truth to that. I mean, except for you have some
Point of clarification, sir, and I don't mean no harm, no disrespect, but I want to point you back to the legislation. So the last big piece of immigration legislation was in 1996. It's called the Illegal Immigration Reform and Illegal Immigration Reform and Immigrant Responsibility Act of 1996. But it's the 1996 Immigration Bill. So there's a couple of things. One, they are not due process. This act actually created an expedited removal process, which allows immigration officers, not judges, to deport certain non-citizens without a hearing before an immigration judge. This applies to people who arrive at ports of entry or who are found near the border without valid documents. They can be removed within hours or days after a brief screening interview. They have no right to an interview, no right to present evidence, and no right to appeal except a very limited review if they claim asylum or fear of persecution. So yes, this is a severely curtailed due process protection for those caught shortly after entering the U.S. or attempting entry. So again, that comes from the 1996 immigration bill. It also says that there are certain crimes that you can do and that'll automatically make you deportable. So there's many minor offenses or old offenses, like even some misdemeanors. And they say those misdemeanors, because you are illegal, it suddenly becomes an aggravated felony. or it could become an aggravated felony. They said that these people could be detained without a bond hearing while removal proceedings were pending. Okay. And they said that courts have ruled that indefinite or prolonged detention without individualized review raises serious due process concerns. So they don't even have to hold them for like a short amount of time. They can hold them for as long as they want to. Again, this is in the 1996 immigration bill. It also says that the act limited the federal court review of many immigration decisions. It stripped the courts of jurisdiction of certain deportation orders and discretionary immigration decisions. And then they curtailed habeas corpus, which means like challenging the unlawful detention. So they don't even get to do that. So I found all this to say that this was passed in 1996. This 2025. So what's that? 29 years ago? This was already decided. All they doing is following the law, and Bill Clinton was in office when this passed. So this came from a Democrat. Why are people making this a partisan discussion? This is United States law. They don't never hesitate to push the law down on us. But now black folks going all crazy, pulling up all type of excuses as to why the law shouldn't be pushed on somebody else that ain't even supposed to be here, ain't got no social security number. No, we're not doing that. So everybody that's here, please carry that forward. They are not no due process. They are not due a hearing. They can catch them and throw them on a plane and send them back home based on current federal law. So let's get that straight as we, have this conversation.
Okay, but that's true. But I know you have to see that when they come across the Rio Grande, that just like they come across the Rio Grande, you can take them in the circle and turn the boat back the other way and walk them right back and put them back in the boat and send them straight back. You should be able to do that, but they put them in detention camps. They put them in detention camps and they fed them and they did a lot of things, even though they were separating them. But they showed where you just don't take people and just, hey, you here now step back in that boat and get back. Don't do that. So they might be.
Now they're doing it with under Donald Trump. Absolutely. But
under a numbskull, they doing it. You're right.
Well, we ain't got to call him up out his name because this is a serious discussion. No, sir. This is life or death. This is the most serious matter that we need to talk about. This ain't got nothing to do with Donald Trump. This is about federal law, and he is following the federal law. Now, Joe Biden is the one who was wrong by grabbing them, putting them in detention centers, and then doing catch and release. So now you can come across the border, stay in this little room for a little while, then we let you go. We ain't got no fingerprints. We ain't got no pictures. I've been through the immigration process with my ex-husband, and you know where that process started at? The embassy. Every time you want an asylum claim, you're supposed to run to the closest country that got an American embassy, and then you go to that embassy and ask for asylum, and they give you your paperwork and flag you out. You don't pay the cartel to sneak you in a hole in the gate. No, that's not how that works. So if you came in that hole in the gate, if they catch you, you got to go immediately. That's the law. So why are people upset about the law? Because they don't know the law, and they're allowing these Democrats to emotionally manipulate them so that they can go out there and use their bodies as shields for ICE. Get out their way and stay out their business. This ain't our business. This ain't our business. This is not our business. This is not our fight. Do not get us no energy. They are not going to Dunbar and pulling out the 10th grade boys. No, they're not. That's not going to happen. We need to stop saying things like that.
Okay, but what I'm hearing you say, so we really need to get rid of that red, black, and we need to drop that black national anthem, lift every voice and say, we really need to get rid of that thing.
No, that's poor logic as well, because lift every voice and sing. No, sir. So my flag, let me answer your question. My flag is red, white, and blue. The flag that freed my people off of Mississippi slave plantations. When the Union showed up, my people was happy. You understand me? As I'm living in America as a full American citizen. So yes, I stand for my flag. However, excuse me, I didn't interrupt you. However, when we talk about lift every voice and sing, that's the Negro national anthem. And there's nobody more American than the Negro. So yes, I am a patriot, and I'm gonna sing my Negro national anthem as a Negro woman because I am not an immigrant. The Negroes are not immigrants. We cannot be deported, but they want to call us black. So then that includes black immigrants, and then we think that we helping other black people because we gotta stand for the immigrants. It's all a trick to get us to go for the immigrants. When Frederick Douglass told us in the 1830s that the immigrants was a problem to Black America, they stifled Black wealth. The U.S. Department of the Civil Rights Commission wrote a 59-page report on how illegal immigration hurts Black wealth. How are we still fighting for them when we got all of this evidence, some from as long as almost 200 years ago, telling us it's a problem, but in 2025, we still confused over it? Why?
Well, that's okay. That takes strong minds to work into this, and how much how much freedom they're gonna allow us to have. Right now, I mean, they really not allowing us to be governors. You know, and Obama was president. I just made mention of Harold Washington. Now Washington became mayor. He had half of the city council divided against him, where he couldn't even do anything. And he had to fight the Rodoli Act, and Obama had to fight the Congress. He had to fight the House of Representatives. He had to fight everybody just to get anything done. And when Joe Biden got in there, but they didn't do Biden nowhere near as bad as they did Obama. But they just didn't want no. They said, they came straight out and said it's our goal to make Obama a one-term president. Well,
How's that relevant right now, sir? That ain't relevant to nothing we talk about. I don't care about Barack Obama. Nothing that Barack Obama had going on is affecting us right now because these tax bills finna come out. And when the tax bills come out and they 20, 30, 40% higher because we paying for them, that's what we focus on. I don't care what them white folks was doing to Obama because Obama wasn't helping us here in Chicago when they was tearing down our buildings and closing schools. He didn't step up not one time to step for us. So I don't care what them people was doing for him. I'm talking about right here, right now, in the middle of an invasion where we have an active military operation happening on the streets of Chicago. That's what we're talking about right now. And I'm telling everybody, stay out the way. I don't want to get into the emotionalism of Harold Washington. Harold Washington died when I was 6 months old. I don't know nothing about that. And I'm not diminishing it, but what I'm saying is I'm present in this moment in 2025, and that's not relevant right now. What's relevant is that us staying focused about the fact that this is not our business and not allowing people to emotionally manipulate us into going out there and acting a fool for some people that would never do it for us, and people whose literal presence stagnates our wealth. Literally, this has been researched and printed and researched and printed. I'm not making this up. This is real. So ain't no Harold Washington. We gonna work him into it. Then we feel bad, and now we thinking about what white folks did to black folks. But no, Right now, it's one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. America versus the world. And once we get this invasion under control, then we can go back to them conversations. Then we can talk about Harold. We can talk about Marcus. We can talk about Frederick. We can talk about whomever. But right now, this conversation about ICE in the city of Chicago and every person that's in this space that's either living in the city of Chicago, the county of Cook, or the state of Illinois, because your tax dollars are subsidizing their lifestyle, and they're not supposed to be here. Now, if the money was going to CPS to get a kid some extra reading help, I would pay for that. Yes, because they need it. But to pay for some people who paid their money to illegally come into our country and then be rewarded with tax money, we can't do that. Because we can't afford it. Now, the city broke, the schools broke, the buses broke, the hospitals closing down. Like, how much can we take, and how do we even open our mouths to talk against them getting out of here when we are living the effects of them being here? What you want us to find comfort in chaos?
Okay, P. Ray, real quick. Let me ask you guys a question for the panel. Why is it that I hear a lot of black people saying that black people are being kidnapped? They're not saying arrested. They say kidnapped by ICE. Why is they using that term? I don't understand.
Emotions to make you think of slavery because Brandon keeps on lying, talking about, oh, this is what would have happened if the Confederacy won the Civil War. The Confederates were the Democrats, the Union was the Republicans, and they the ones who came and freed the people. But they keep on trying to use imagery and feelings of slavery, and you know what this is like. They're gonna come and get you next again, so we can use our bodies to go out there and protect them from ICE. We're not doing it. It's a trick. It's nothing but a trick. And if you got confidence and you are literate, please don't let these people trick you to being completely sent off. No. Get out the way. They're not kidnapping black people. I ain't seen not one person get kidnapped. Not one person. Like I said, they raided the Walmart up there on North Avenue in Compton. Ain't nobody get kidnapped. And the Secretary of Homeland Security was up there. So if they were going to kidnap some people, why they ain't getting none up out of Austin?
Now, quick question. A lot of black people was not upset because the migrants came here in the city of Chicago. You know, and I know that. But when they found out that the resources that they was receiving, then that's when the migrants became a problem to the illegals, became a problem. So even right now today, a lot of people don't see, they say they want them gone, but now they're removing them. Now they're complaining. I don't know what is the fake cry, the fake pain. What's going on with our people? Because 1 minute they say they want them gone. Now Donald Trump is sending the ICE inside here, grabbing these people. Now they still complaining. What is wrong with us? Somebody help me out, old timer.
There you go. I mean, you just said it. So we complain because we know that that they're gonna be knocking at our door, but they're gonna be knocking in a different way. They're gonna be knocking at our door through unemployment. We always have had a high, and Trump already has stated that as far as blacks concerned, he gonna ship some of us to El Salvador. So it's just a matter of time before the other shoe drops. Now this sister saying this, but you know, immigration has been in the United States since the 1800s. It's not something that just started.
But not an influx. The influx. See, we're talking about an influx of and it affects our economy. We got another caller too. Let me take this call. Hold on, old timer. Go ahead, old timer. Go ahead. Make your statement. Go ahead.
You saying it now, and I mean, and all y'all, everybody got a decent point. But the fact is that the white people are hiring the people. The white people ain't hiring no blacks. The white people is not hiring even black people in baseball. They hiring the Hispanics, the Latinos in baseball. They ain't hiring us. We barely get along straight. We on life support. And in some kind of way, we don't know how we're going to get off this life support because they're cutting us off of welfare, they're cutting us off Section 8, they're cutting our medical out. So we don't know what our next term is. Next term, and then when you go back and start asking for it, they're going to say, oh, you're begging. Get out and get a job like everybody else do. That's what their response is going to be to us. If Trump is not helping white folks, you know good and well he ain't going to help no black people. He's not going to do it. And all this Section 8, you know, they cutting that out. They doing things that's just not going. You're going to have to start up our own businesses, and then we slowly support. I mean, we don't pay people $25 and $35 an hour, but the white people do, and their cost of living is constantly going up. So we making it, but we don't know how we make it.
Okay.
Some kind of way we're going to have to. We're going to have a great big. It's going to have to be open for everybody.
Let me
to see that black people is a force in this country, and white people is not willing to give up their power. So you know, it's going to have to be black for black, and it's going to have to be white for white because if we keep on being split up, man, we ain't gonna never have nothing.
Yeah, but
we vote half of them vote for the white people, and all the white people voting for the white people.
Well,
all the people calling the Democratic Party,
but
all the white people voting for it.
But let me say this.
That's not true.
That's not true. He know that's not true. That's not true.
You know the point that I'm making. You know, the Republicans is not leaving. The Republicans is not leaving the Republican Party. Rand Paul is down there in Kentucky, but he's aligned with the Republicans. And most of those people are aligned with the Republicans. And the only thing that black people are talking about, well, vote your interest. You know what's something to find out? You know what the black people interest might be? It might be 2 things. And the white people got 20 things. We vote
I
the
know
interest.
that. Why are you diminishing us politically like that? We've been in with the first person that died for this country was a black man. So no, we do know we got more than 20 things that we know what's going on, okay? We're not politically ignorant in our own country. All these people you see, these are immigrants. These are Ellis Island immigrants who came here after the War of Wars. Our people been here paying taxes and eating cornbread for a very long time. So no, they don't know how to do politics better than us. No, I completely rebuke that. Don't say that about our people.
We run the country. If we rerun the country, everybody is going to do good. But the white people is not willing to give us this thing. I mean, they don't want to have another black president. And another thing, you don't see white people when the white person runs for office, any office, you don't see them saying, "Well, what you gonna do for the white people? How you gonna help the white people?"
Actually, they do.
That's crap.
They do.
They do. They absolutely do.
Let me tell you what white men just did. Let me tell you what white men just did. White men just got rid of H-1B visas. I'm sorry. I'm not going to talk over you. Sorry.
I ain't trying to talk over you. I'm just saying you don't hear them say those words. But as soon as somebody does,
they do though. That's
what
they
do.
just won. They just won. So they got the H-1B visa. H-1B visa is supposed to be for high-skilled labor that they can't find in the United States. But when we did the research on the H-1B visas, it was all type of jobs, like an English teacher an English teacher down in Jackson, Mississippi for a high school class. People to work at 7-Eleven. What these foreigners do is they buy businesses and then they put job postings in obscure newspapers. When people don't respond, they tell the government, "Look, we put out this job post, nobody responded, so now we have to import foreign labor." That's the H-1B. So now they've been importing all of their people. That's why they only have 8 people working in their stores. Now what's happening is on the corporate and tech side, the Indians have completely taken over corporate tech, which has put white men especially out of that industry. So they have been organizing online to get rid of H-1B visas, and President Trump just came up with Operation Firewall to prevent people from getting these H-1 visas and taking jobs away from white men. So white men definitely organize their power for themselves. You just not exposed to it. Don't use that to diminish us.
Okay, I need y'all to hold on. I got a new caller. They've been holding on for a while. Actually, 2 new callers. Come on, 0024. 0024. Thank you for holding. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, Mr. Martin Johnson, I appreciate you taking my call. So
Yes.
I actually been in the chat talking about I'm biracial, so I'm mixed with black and Mexican. I really agree with every caller that's talking about
This little young man
actual,
here. I know who you are. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm 30 years old. Yes, I agree with everything. I've been born and raised in the city of Chicago, right? And I feel very conflicted only because, wow, like this is trauma, right? This is an issue that's been for years before I came out of my daddy's nutsack, correct? And I'm saying that respectfully because
where'd that come from?
I'm a 1995 baby. I'm 30 years old, but I'm really understanding the old timers, the people that's been born in the city of Chicago, that's been dealing with the whole corruption of Chicago. And you know, I take I'm gonna just be honest. I take the Ashland bus. I go to Harold Washington and I go to Malcolm X. And I ride on an actual bus that's predominantly black. And sometimes, don't get me wrong, I do get dirty looks like, what the fuck is this Mexican doing on this fucking bus?
Watch your language,
But
man.
these
Watch your
people-
language. Watch your language now.
I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm sorry. But I kind of get these looks. It's not every day, but you know, you could tell like there's animosity energy, right? And I'm like, look, I don't have no animosity towards my black people. People don't even know that I'm adopted. My mother is African American, and she took me in as her own son. And I'm proud to be black, like you say, black, 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 black power. Period. But I get this energy where like this person don't belong on this bus. And I'm not saying not every person feels this, but I'm just tired of these fucking Mexicans sitting up here taking over our shit. This, and that.
Can you,
and
can,
Mr. Johnson,
young man,
preach black.
young man,
Yes, sir.
can you
Yes,
go
sir.
without cussing? Please, 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 so
I
we
know.
can.
I'm
Okay.
sorry. No,
All right. I
no.
want you to make your
I'm
point.
kind of.
I know you're excited.
The
Yeah, I know
point
you're
is,
excited.
actually, there was a question you. Actually, I called you because there was a question. It was something about why. It was something about. I made a post mentioning about like. I said something about what was the word I said? Black people being transported for like why do white people want to actually it was what was the word? Damn. Hold on. It was a word I was trying to say. The organ transportation. You know what I'm saying, Mr. Johnson?
I think I know what you're saying. That you
What's
saying
the word?
people are being
You
getting their organs taken, or you?
Like yeah, the organ like that sit up here trying to like, black people and kidnap them, and you get what I'm saying, right?
Right, I know what I know where you're going. Organs.
Organ
Yeah.
harvesting.
Thank you.
So the reason why they do that, and I did my research. You know the Kanika
Yeah.
Jenkins case.
Yeah.
So that case, she was a beautiful black woman at the hotel, and
Okay.
over
Okay.
there.
Now before you go there, I'm trying to stay with the
Yeah.
subject, and you know I love Kanika because I did many days out there with her. But I'm trying to
Yeah.
stick closer
I
to the
get it.
subject. You know.
I get it. I just wanted. Okay, I appreciate you allowing me to take this call. I just want to say I'm biracial. I'm mixed with black and Mexican. I'm with the black community. I just want to say I love all you guys. I love all of the information that you guys are talking about, and I'm gonna follow you. I'm gonna subscribe to you. Actually, I'm gonna follow you. So. I appreciate you, sir.
You're supposed to follow me the last time you
follow
came on here. You're supposed to follow me the last time you
Yes,
came
I
on
did.
here.
Yes, I did. Yes,
And make sure you
I
do it
did.
today.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
make sure
did.
you do.
And look, my picture is Ricky Riggs Truitt, and
Okay.
obviously, if you look, and I look like I'm like 18 years old, but I follow your stuff, Mr.
Okay.
Johnson. I respect you, brother. I appreciate you, and keep doing your thing.
Thank you.
Crime Chester, we love black people.
That's
Stay on
right.
point, you guys.
Yes, sir.
Let's
Thank you.
get along. Let's fight. Let's fight the white people. Let's be strong. Not fight the white people, but let's be strong. For real, for real.
Well, we fight
So,
everybody. We
appreciate
fighting
you, Mr.
everybody.
Johnson.
All right, come on, Buck.
For sure.
6650.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
God bless you.
God bless you. Buck, come on, Buck.
Thank you.
All right, come on, Buck.
Yeah, man, I had to get back in
You
here.
heard-
Much love to my sister P. Ray here. She's setting it down up here for my boy, the people, like my man Old Timer. I hear him rapping. He talk like we say all the. You look like we thrive is on public aid and public assistance. That's a Democrat thing, man. There's more other folks on that stuff than we. We got black businesses and all kind of stuff. We done growed in the last 30, 40 years. We not depending on no check from no government. We just want to get our reciprocity by putting us in our proper polarity. Nobody should come before us. We've been at this line standing for getting at this table, and you bringing other people. We ain't against nobody. We show love to everybody, even our worst enemies. We still love them. But first of all, you got to be real about it and give our people got to get their due off the top. We done built this country. We done died for this country. Even the first Statue of Liberty was sent by France was a black woman because they was trying to give us tribute from slavery. Now, most people won't know that, because the government of America rejected that statue because they didn't want a black woman sitting in that harbor in Manhattan, so everybody would see her every time they came to America. And they didn't want to represent. Number one, they didn't want to be known for slavery, which they are, and number two, we're having a black person representing this country. So it's been known back. That was 18 something when they sent that Statue of Liberty here for after the Civil War and all that stuff. So fact of the matter, we got value. See, I see the brothers talk a lot. He giving her a hard time talking about these other people. If you sneak into anybody's house, you're a criminal. If you walk up in somebody's house and they government, you're a criminal. It ain't no ifs, ands, and buts, maybes. You walk in here, you ain't got no paperwork, you ain't got nothing to prove, you need to go to jail. If you go to any other country and you ain't got no reason to be there and got no value, means of support, saying you there for school or work, whatever, then you got to go to jail. It ain't no other ifs, ands, and buts. It ain't no gray area in there. You go to jail. So people that's wishy-washy on this stuff, talking about these politicians, the law should be enforced because the law is on black and white paper. If it's good for these people, it's good for us. Don't play the game when it comes to somebody, oh, we shouldn't do that to them. If you're illegal or you do illegal things here, if you do wrong, you go to jail. If you go to another country, I guarantee you, if you stuck into Mexico, if you stuck into Europe and don't have no paperwork, if you go to France, England, you have no paperwork, they're going to put you straight in jail. I don't give a damn what color you is. So you got to have your eyes dotted, your T's crossed. Otherwise, you're a damn fool. So use common sense. Talking about all we got is public aid. We got there's more black businesses out that you can support all over the city. You got bookstores, they got restaurants, they got all kind of things that's black owned and black proprietors. So if you want to be a real brother the whole time, support black people. Skip Trump and everybody else. If you want to be a helpful person to build your community, then build black first. God bless.
All right. Old
Can
town.
I say something?
Yeah, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Look, I think all of this political who shot John stuff falls on us. We need to grab the mirror and understand that if we ghost the political process on election day, 2/3 of black Chicago didn't vote. If you don't vote, how can you have any effect on policy? Then they treat us from what we are, invisible. And that's the real problem. 2/3 of black Chicago didn't vote, but everybody want to get on your show and bellyache about what's going on. These people, like P. Ray said, absolutely right. These people, that's not our fight because we didn't control the policy. Them people didn't control the policy. We don't vote. I don't hear nobody saying, hey, look, what's up with Harold Washington and all of that? Harold Washington had 98% of black Chicago behind him. How many? What was the percentage of black people that voted in this last election? 32%. 32%. That's on us. Correct me if I'm wrong, P. Ray.
You telling the truth?
That's the problem, y'all. We fighting the wrong battle. This is not our battle to fight. Our battle to fight is on election day. We don't have no political collateral if we don't vote. And I don't understand why we don't get that. It ain't about these people that's over here. Yeah, they may be illegal or whatever, but again, it took policy to open up the floodgates to let them in. And the reason why they let them in, I'm going to go ahead and say it. The reason why the Democrats let them in is because black folks kept ghosting the ballot box on election day. They spent millions trying to get us to get out to vote. We wouldn't show up on election day. So they did the next best thing. They opened up the floodgates. See, look, the monkey is on our back. The mirror that we need to hold up is against us because we don't vote, and we got to change that.
Okay.
Can't argue with that.
Well, any rebuttal against that, people? No rebuttal?
Well, I mean, that brother sound like I'm talking.
Yeah.
That brother sound like I'm
And
talking.
that's true. So the thing is how we change that, because that is a fact. And now that everybody know, we don't never got to say it no more, okay? What we got to focus on is getting our people reactivated in the political process. And the way that you do that is by building our patriotic esteem. If we keep on telling our people that this ain't our country, America landed on us, we don't want this, and I don't like the 4th of July, I don't see the national anthem, then no, you're not going to vote either. You've already disassociated, excuse me, you've already disassociated yourself with the land, with the country, with the processes. So we have to start celebrating our Black culture, our Negro culture in this country. And it's more than degeneracy. You know, we got a rich, strong culture, the best culture in the world. Everybody in the world imitate our culture because it's so beautiful. And we got to teach ourselves to love ourselves more. Martin, to tell you, the tagline for my show is a show for people with high self-esteem. And all I talk about is self-esteem and building out of that self-esteem. So if we want to get our people back involved, we got to start studying on the American and sweet potato pie. Okay, not apple pie. You said American is apple pie. Yeah, we eat apple pie, but our pie is sweet potato pie, and that's an American pie. So we American as sweet potato pie. You understand me? And then we can get our people reactivated. But if we keep telling people what's wrong with them, that don't motivate people to do right. Everybody that has somebody come in their face and tell them what's wrong with them, that ain't make you immediately want to change. It actually pisses you off because somebody's in your business. But if somebody come to you and they see what's good about you, and you know, hey girl, somebody could be looking whatever. Oh girl, I like them earrings. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta give people something to feel good about themselves so that they can produce good out of themselves. So that's why I don't say bad things about Black people. And I know every negative statistical indicator about us, but I don't have to say that because I know it. So now it's my duty to improve that statistical indicator by pushing my people up instead of beating them down with that information.
With all the
Hey, man.
Yeah. Be red.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just got. It's brief. How many eligible Black voters are there in the city of Chicago, well, Cook County proper? How many eligible Black voters are there?
Well,
if the population is 796,000.
Okay, let me
how
say
many
this.
are eligible or vote?
I'm gonna say this, P. Ray, and maybe you guys can correct me. Anybody that's more political than me, just a lot of us have moved and left Chicago, but we're still registered in the city and the state of Illinois. We moved out. A lot of Black people have left Chicago, the state, but they're still registered as a Democrat or whatever Republican. But that's why the voter rate is so low as well, too, my brother. That's why, my sister. It's because a lot of people have left. The numbers don't reflect the population here in the city of Chicago for Black people. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Maybe somebody can correct me.
That's true.
Go ahead.
It's helpful when I listen to this discussion to find out what the number is.
Brother, hold on a minute.
Look it up. I just looked it up.
Go ahead.
There are 519,743 registered voters in Chicago's 17 Black wards.
Okay.
Hey, Martin, I got a question for the caller.
Yes, go ahead.
For the brother that was saying that we should vote. I agree with him 100%. I agree 100%. No matter how many of us are here, we need to vote. And not voting, low turnout, is a problem. But let me ask the brother this if he's still there. If not, then I'll just ask whoever's listening. In the last mayoral election where Brandon Johnson was elected, that was a very low turnout vote as well. But if we had a higher turnout, who should we have voted for?
Willie Wilson.
Martin.
Oh, that's a good one. I personally, I had three children. No, I'm not. You know, I'm not. That's not me. Me, I liked it, Willie, but I liked Willie. I had liked Brandon because I think he wasn't new, but I've seen him before. But I kind of but I felt personally, and I'll say this publicly, that I believe that Lori Lightfoot was the strongest candidate out of all of them. That's
Yeah.
my belief. Now, I could be
Yeah.
wrong, but I believe that.
Well,
Now, if most of us couldn't get over her sexuality, but
I
personally,
have an issue with that.
yeah, I mean, I had an issue with it too, but I knew
Yeah,
I had an issue with it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit up and play a hypocrite, but she did do a lot of things for the youth. She looked out for the youth, and I'm gonna tell you one I respect her for. It could have went far to the left. When that George Floyd riot came, she made the police stand down. A lot of you guys disagree with that, but it destroyed the city, a lot of businesses, but it kept the police from shooting, killing young black men. And
Yeah, okay.
so that's why I look at it. Now, I'm not what I'm saying, I'm that's just my opinion. Just an opinion, people, to me. So I had nothing but respect for Lori Lightfoot when she made that call, because I was at the riot and I seen a police officer, a white police officer, a young one. He put a gun on. I was on 87 and Dan Rand. He put a gun to one of the looters' heads and threatened to shoot him in the head over some material things. So, I mean, they worked it out, the sergeant and all that, but he did do that. And now some people don't like thieves. I don't like a thief. I know we shouldn't be breaking in people's property and destroying it. They work hard, and somebody come along and just take the stuff. That's not right. So I'm not justifying looting, people. So I don't want nobody to say Martin justifying looting. No, I didn't loot nothing. I didn't take anything out of anybody's store here in Minnesota and in Chicago. I didn't do it. So just my opinion, people. That's all. Just my opinion. My thought.
Yeah, the reason that I ask is maybe part of the reason there's such a low turnout is who you gonna vote for. We lack the institutions to produce, or the institutions we do have are not producing quality leadership. Someone for us to rally around, for the mayor and the alderman and the chief of
Rally
police.
around me.
Yeah, but you're one person. It's more than just a mayor or a congressperson. That's part of it.
But still,
But
I could be the first one, and then we'll
Okay.
grow from there.
All right, let's do that then.
Let's do that. Okay. We got a new caller, people. Let's see what the new caller has to say. 5698. Come on, caller.
Hello?
Yes, you're live, uncut,
Yeah,
unedited. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, thank you. My name is Arthur Ward. I was introduced to your program by Sister Jessica, and one of the things I wanted to make clear to the people on this program is that it's not just voting. That's mainly been our problem. We've been just voting. Voting is really 5% of the process. The other 95% is how the community organizes itself and engages with a person that is supposed to be your representative, not your leader. None of the people that we vote into office are supposed to be our leaders. They're supposed to be our representatives for our particular community interests. Okay? And political engagement is one of the things that we fall short on. When I used to live on the northwest side in Portage Park, whenever the alderman in the area or the congressman called a meeting, those meetings would be packed with white people telling these folks what they want them to do. Okay? One of the most extreme cases or groups of people in this country that has political engagement down is the Jewish community. Notice they don't have enough people numbers wise to turn any election, but they certainly have perfected the art of political engagement so that the people that are supposed to be representing them don't go astray. What we have a tendency to do is vote people in, and then they just go according to their own devices. The next thing you know, instead of them worrying about how they're going to get legislation done to help their community, you got people in their offices from APAC and Jewish organizations and now Mexican organizations. And now we have people like the NAACP that put more Jews into representing and helping politicians with Latino issues rather than our issues.
That's fact.
And that's the problem. And most of this stuff is our fault. It really is. You know, and when I go to my local alderman, now I live in Roseland, okay? The alderman calls a meeting, it's only like 4 people that show up. The last meeting I went to, Anthony Bill, it was only 4 people that showed up. What are you people, what are y'all doing? You know, was the video game that engaging that you can't make it to a meeting where you need to talk to this alderman about getting resources that you need and that your children need for your community? One of the things that Black people really have to understand, that business, politics, and economics are 3 sides of the same coin. And they do not separate, especially in a capitalistic country like America. And nothing is stopping us from playing the game. Even a lack of money is now stopping us from playing the game, because if you really understand this, if we are together and organized politically, even money can't trump us, because it's the vote that gets them in the office, not money, and certainly not money from APAC. Last I heard, buying votes in this country is illegal. You understand?
Hey, but listen, my brother. Listen, buying politicians is not buying, not the votes, but buying politicians is not.
Politicians is not.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, right? But the vote is what opens and closes the office door.
Uh-huh.
We do have that power, and we have not used it effectively.
Hey, to the caller that's talking, other thing the Jews do is when the politicians don't do what they want them to do, the Jews punish. The Jews have the will and the temerity to punish the politicians.
Yes.
Economically, they expose their corruption. They make them pay. We don't want to do that.
Right. You understand? You know, it's just like that. You know, people was talking about Trump. Trump said something to me that made me want to vote for him, because see, like my house over in on 73rd and Rockwell, 2 blocks from me, a white landlord that owns that 3-flat 2 doors from me, he had 50 migrants up in there.
Yeah.
Okay, Kamala was saying she's going to bring more of this. No, you're not. And then when she said, when a question was brought up to her about reparations, she said she's not going to ever do anything specifically for Black people. Oh, I'm supposed to vote for that? Okay. Because she looks Black and she's a Democrat, I'm supposed to vote for that. Could you see a politician saying anything similar to that to a group of Jews? Could you see that happening? No. But we're supposed to sit down and take this kind of insult to our faces just because that woman looks Black. Hell no.
Hey, B Red.
I'm just saying, sir.
Thank you. B Red, make your point real quick, because we cut you off.
Yes, sir.
We cut you off. Go ahead, 214. I'll let you go, B Ray. Go ahead.
What I was going to ask, P Ray, what office is he running for? The 1st, the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th?
Oh, 7.
He's running for the 7.
Yes, Danny Davis' seat. I'm gonna tell y'all real quick why I'm qualified for this seat. I grew up in that office. Okay, when I was in high school, the Congressional Black Caucus had an initiative called WOW, with ownership wealth. And the goal was to increase Black home ownership by 1 million between 2000 and 2010. I worked that program with the congressman, and when I graduated from Whitney Young High School, I had 500 service hours from specifically working on federal housing. So that's what I do. Okay, that's what I learned. I was trained by the congressman. I've worked in multiple governmental capacities. My first job ever was at an Illinois governmental intern, which was a program by the Illinois State Board of Education that took high school seniors from around the state and then moved us to Springfield, put us with host families, and then had us work government jobs for credit. I worked for Barack Obama and Governor Rod Blagojevich. Yes, I've been to the White House several times. I've spoken to the president several times. I'm also a national political leader. I'm on Fox News frequently, Newsmax, One America News Network, various blogs. You name it, I'm speaking on behalf of Chicago, and I'm looking into that camera, telling them we need help now, right now. Help us, please, Mr. President, please, please, please. So that even today he was like, yeah, those beautiful black women in them red hats was talking to me. Yes, that's us, Chicago Red, because we wear the red fedora hat. But I say that to say that I'm serious about this business. I know how to go in and make friends to find the resources that we need. I want to treat this period where President Trump is in office, and again, he knows me. I was at a rally, and the Secret Service tapped me on the shoulder. They said, "Are you P. Ray?" I said, "Yes." They said, "Come with us." I said, "Why?" They said, "Because the president want to meet you in the back." Okay, so me, when I tell you I'm in this circle, I'm in this circle, and I didn't do this just to know Donald Trump. I did this because the Chicago Housing Authority is hoarding $1.8 billion of federal housing money. It's 120,000 black families on the CHA waiting list that's been there since 2000. But if you want to get a low-income apartment, you got to move to Iowa first. But they didn't make the migrants move out of town first. They gave them apartments immediately. So my main goal is
Tell the
to
truth
use federal
and shame
resources
the devil.
to use federal resources to not only get some things done, but we want to refederalize the Chicago Housing Authority because they took federal oversight off of it in 2000. But before that, the feds were running it. So if the feds run it again, then we can force them to spend the money, and instead of us padding the building cost through union work, we can get the Army Corps of Engineers here to do that work, and they can train people to do that work. So that way they don't have to go through all that union red tape. They'll get trained directly by the U.S. government and be certified to do the work. So that gives us housing, that gives us jobs, that gives us economic opportunity. So that's what I'm on. That's what I've been on from the beginning. Even when I had my radio show, Martin Cotillion, I used to be on there, my Donnie. They like, P. Ray and her Donnie. But now everybody can see what this was about. Like, you gotta link up with the people in power. So I want to use this time. I don't know if y'all ever played video games, but you know when you play Mario and it's the bonus round, you gotta run real fast and get all the coins before the music stops. That's what I'm on right now. I want to go and get everything I can get while my Donnie is in office for the 7th Congressional District before this is over with. Because now we have a direct link to him. Brandon is into it with the president. J.B. Pritzker is into it with the president. But P. Ray ain't into it with the president. And I'm talking to the president like I'm somebody. Like Brandon gonna say, we got all these self-appointed leaders here in Chicago who want to talk. Yeah, I'm sure I am, because y'all ain't saying nothing. Y'all act like we ain't going through nothing. You want to be into it and call the man names like he ain't the president of the United States. So because you into it with him, now the whole city supposed to suffer and the whole state supposed to suffer. We need at least one friend coming out of the city of Chicago, and that's gonna be me. Because we got stuff to handle here.
Okay, hold on, y'all. Well, let's get this new caller real quick. Anyway, 6847. Hey, new caller.
Yeah, well, again, for P. Ray to be who P. Ray should be, we can't ghost her on election day. And again, we don't have a voice if we keep ghosting the political process. Not showing up at the alderman's meeting, not showing up at the congressman's meeting, and especially not showing up on election day. I think that's the one thing that we need to get on the same page. We need to heat up the hot comb and straighten this to here out right now. And none of this stuff worth anything if we keep ghosting the political process by not showing up and then getting upset when we don't like the results.
Yeah, hold it, sir. Hold it. Glenn, Glenn, I didn't cut you off. So I'm just letting you know I don't do that.
Oh, okay.
I don't do that. You know, now
Oh, okay.
you gotta all people know. You tell me to cut people. I don't even do that. I let people go on and on and on and on and on and on. So you know I don't cut no people off,
No,
man.
I got muted. I was trying to say
No, I
something
didn't mute you.
and I didn't hear nothing.
I didn't mute you.
I didn't hear nothing. I
You better
got cut
check
off.
that.
Well,
You better check that
maybe I got
T-Mobile
cut off.
or AT&T or something. I didn't mute you. I promise you I didn't. Some people still on here from the first
Oh,
call.
okay, all right. I believe
Okay.
you.
Okay, that's
I
my
believe you,
apology.
but again, at the bottom line of all of this stuff, I believe in P. Ray. I think P. Ray is gonna get in there and stir the pot up because she knows what she's doing. She knows exactly what she's talking about. But we are no good to her or anybody on that level if we don't show up on election day. And that's the one message that we need to get across to each other more than anything else.
Marcus, one more thing.
I'm gonna let you go, sir.
One
when you
more
get done
important
talking.
thing I want to say.
Go
Okay,
ahead, go ahead.
I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead, sir.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
This is the thing that I want Black people to understand, that historically, during the 400 plus years that we've been on this land, we are the one group that is the most affected by politics. But at the same time, ironically, we are the least engaged.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
Okay? We are the most affected by politics. And so therefore, you know, out of need of resources, and at this point, possibly survival itself, we need to get on that P and Q. We just have no excuse now not to be engaged and enforcing our leader, not our leaders, but our supposed political representatives to represent our interests. Because that's what they're there for.
If we don't show up?
It's not going to happen.
Don't show up?
They're not going to. It's going to be other groups that are going to be papering them up, like now the Latino group. Now you got Latino organizations that are papering up Black politicians now, in addition to AIPAC, in addition to other special interests. You know, here in Chicago, the Palestinians are getting all of the liquor licenses on the south side and the west side.
They paying for them
Black
too.
aldermen are not right. They're paying for them, and they're not giving liquor licenses to Black people that are equally qualified. And I'm telling you that from direct witnessing.
Got a question for P. Ray, if she's still there.
Yeah, she's still here. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm getting a little sleepy, but I'm with y'all.
Okay, let me ask you one more question. You said
Yes,
something
sir.
that piqued my ears. You said that there's almost $2 billion hoarded by the city of the state for affordable housing.
Yes, sir.
And-
1.8 billion US dollars right now.
Thank you. But you said that but for some reason, the city of Chicago is telling Black families, and maybe others, but Black families, that in order to get affordable housing, they have to move to the state of Iowa.
So what happens is with Section 8 housing, you apply federally, but typically people apply within the municipalities that they want.
Sure.
So people sign up for CHA, and then CHA shares your information with, other Section 8 databases. And so they've been sending our people to Iowa. That's why you hear so many of us going to Iowa. So the way it works is you go and you live somewhere else on Section 8 for a year, and then you can come back to Chicago if there's an apartment available for you. But why this pisses me off so much, sir, is because I got a little homie. She's 25 years old. She's a wonderful person. She got cancer real bad in her stomach, in her ovaries, and at the bottom of her lungs. It's really bad. But she applied for low income and she got it. So they sent my little homie to Oklahoma and she damn near died. Okay? Because all of her medical services are over here in the medical district. But she had to wait that year before she can come back to Chicago. And she came back here on her last leg and went straight to the hospital to get her help. But they didn't do that to the migrants. They didn't make them move out of state. So that's what we have to focus on, because our people are not given a priority. I got a friend, the young Bay family. They were unhoused. They were homeless for a while, and they was working with the city to get them a shelter space, an apartment. They said that the lady at the city told them at that time it was a certain number for the migrants and then a certain number that they gave to the citizens. The caseworker who was working with them said, well, you know what? Y'all been waiting a long time, so I'm going to just go ahead and give y'all a migrant case number. And they immediately got housing.
So this is why, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm just telling you, like, that's what we have to fight against, because we, the people with the social security numbers, we are not the priority. Like, and it's crazy the amount of things that they're able to accomplish without proper paperwork. I can't go to the bank with $250,000 for cash and buy nothing. They want every dime, and they finna call the feds on me. These people are getting wires from overseas. And ain't nobody asking them for anything. So now we are in an we are not compatible. Competitive. There we go. We cannot compete with them because they are existing on a whole different paradigm than us. We got to do it the American way, but they get special privilege. And it's hurting us in the city of Chicago. It's holding the money to push us out. And I'm going to land here. Brandon, he's a tricky one. Brandon has been giving well, I shouldn't say Brandon. I should say this administration because he's not doing it himself. But what they're doing is they mix the migrants with the Americans. So now it's one shelter system, right? But if you're in that one shelter system, those people qualify for emergency vouchers. So we asked HUD to do an audit to find out if the migrants been getting emergency vouchers. And if they have, CHA is under big trouble because no federal money is supposed to go to people without social security numbers. But that's what they've been on. They made housing them the priority, not us.
So this is why I asked this. And this is it, bingo, she just said it. They are getting rid of us in Chicago. If you can't afford to buy a house or a condo or got money, everybody needs housing. They're using the housing system, the housing voucher system to get you out of Chicago. They're eliminating us in Chicago. That's just one example, what she said. And she said, if you're a migrant, a black family couldn't get housing, so the clerk or someone who worked there said, well, let me give you a migrant number or a migrant slot, and they went ahead and got housing. That's one way they're eliminating us from Chicago. That's why we're not in the New American Plan, because they're doing exactly what P. Ray is talking about.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
because we don't vote.
Go ahead, Glenn. Okay, let me just play.
Because
go ahead, Glenn. Go ahead. Glenn, go ahead.
I mean, just to back up what he said, we can't give P. Ray or anybody else power unless we show up. And if we don't show up, that's the consequence. We're not a part of the plan. I'm done.
Okay. Let's play Dr. Claude Edison.
Everything that blacks were producing went
Let
to
me play
Wall
this, then
Street
you come back.
And now that all that money that's amassed on Wall Street is still producing unearned income. All that money is producing a regular salary for people. It's in stocks and bonds and dividends. They don't have to work. Never had to work. But we're going to talk about that later on. So what I'm saying now is that you're going to have this massive influx of immigrants into the country that are better equipped. They don't have your legacies. They don't have your disadvantages. They're walking across the border. They're going to get a free lunch. They don't have to pay dues. But you got public policies in this country that are equating them to black folk. They're equating them to black, and what we've allowed them to do starting in 1970 is to wrap themselves in black folks' suffering and pretend somehow they suffered along with black folk. And therefore, whatever program is created under this misguided label called minority, that they are equal to you and over you. And we're going to deal with that whole concept of minority in a few minutes too. So that's the problem with the influx of immigrants. And what they are doing is coming into the country and doing what we've never been allowed to do and we've never been bright enough to do in some senses, is to build your own communities. You got to build your communities. You see, every group that when they leave their homeland, the last thing they do is look in the mirror. They look in the mirror and says, I'm going to America. And I'm going to go to America, I'm going to find me a community or neighborhood. Or I'm going to build one with people who look like me. And so that's why you go all over this nation, where they're coming out of Asia. You will find Vietnamese towns all over California, little Cambodias. You'll find a Chinatown in every major city. You'll see the Hispanics come in. They'll build a little Mexico, a little Havana, a little Hialeah. You find little Italys, French towns, German town, Greek town, Polish town, but you cannot find one black town. And we are the only people that keep trying to integrate. We are the only people, rather than looking in the mirror and saying, I see somebody that looks like me, I want to go find and build me a community of people who look like me. We're doing just the opposite. That's your second problem, is inappropriate behavior of black folk. We keep looking in the mirror and says, I want to get away from everybody that looks like me. You can't have any power and wealth doing that. If you don't have a community, you cannot rebuild Los Angeles without a black community. If I cannot come in this city, you can tell me where every black lives, where he stays, where he works. You don't have a community. And all of you that want to go in business, don't waste your time. You cannot start a business and operate without a town or a community. Why can't you do it? Because without a community, you have no market. If you don't have a market, every black gonna go by your store at 200 miles an hour heading for the suburbs and heading for the malls. And that's why you got this major displacement of capital out of the black neighborhood. And I tell black folk, if you want to go in business today, don't do it. Give me the money. I need it. Because you're going to go bankrupt. 80% of all black folk that go into business under the present system, you will go bankrupt within 2 years. You will lose your money within 2 years because you don't have a market. And see, that's how the other groups function. They have their own markets, their own communities. And we're going to talk about that a little later on, too. See, the good Reverend Dr. Price, he gave me 2 hours to talk to you all, so I'm going to get to all those points, okay?
All right, people. I had to bring that up. And you know what, y'all? This video is probably, I know he came twice to Fred Price Church in the 80s and in the 90s. So he talked about this. And while we was lecture slide and doing all our things, and now it's at our doorstep right now. And matter of fact, Compton has been taken over. South Central LA has been taken over by foreigners, immigrants. So this thing,
Has, Martin.
huh? What'd you say, Mama House?
I said, yes, you're right, Martin.
Yeah. And
I said, yes, you're right.
Thank you. And this is, now we at the door. The door is wide open. We trying to push it. We got to, but in order for us to push back, we have to do it as a group. We have to do it as a group. Go ahead.
Which means we have to go back to we got to go back to basics. Mm-hmm. We got to, in order to plan together, we got to learn how to pray together. Right? Mm-hmm. We don't do that. My church better than your church. My house better than your house. That's the biggest virus that's the biggest virus across Black America, not just in Chicago. We don't do a damn thing together. The only thing, you mentioned electric slide, that's about the only thing we do together without a committee or a meeting or any other garbage, you know. We have to learn, we have to learn how to look at our neighbors and want the same for them as you do for ourselves. But the virus that we have as Black people, I got mine, you get yours.
I think it's low self-esteem. And I say that it's low self-esteem because low self-esteem makes you competitive when you should be working together. Everybody want to be Michael, but people don't understand that Tito was the most important member of the group. Tito started the group and he kept the groove. But everybody want to be Michael. Everybody want to put on the shoes and spin in a circle in the front. No. Stay in your lane. But because people have low self-esteem and they're looking for validation, then this is what you run into. You run into chaos. People don't mind tearing things up to feed their own ego.
I think the problem is we don't know who we are as a people. And when you don't know who you are, you don't do better because you don't know who you are. You accept the narrative of other people. And our young people really don't know who they are. And that's why they're just going along to get along.
Okay.
But brother, I'm going to say, there's a lot on this line tonight. But what I want to ask P-Ray is this: are you a Republican?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're a Republican.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
10 toes down for Donald John Trump Sr. I call him my Donnie, and my Donnie responded to me today, as recently as today. So, yes, I stand with the president. I went to the White House in 2018 and heard the best pro-Black speech I ever heard in my life. And all I did was grow up listening to Black speeches. And from there, I'm like, yes, this is the president that I need to support. And I've been on board ever since.
Okay, so now all these people on this line are grown people, so I know I can ask this question.
Sure. Go ahead.
Do you believe in common law marriage?
No.
You said no right on the bat.
I had to think about it. I had to think about it. And I say no. The reason that I say no, I don't believe in it, is because if you are married, on just a very practical level, it's for legal purposes. So if you're going to say you're married, you might as well get the legal document that gives you the privilege.
That's not what I asked you. I asked you, do you believe in common law marriage?
And I said, no, I believe in legal marriage.
No.
You get more privilege.
You believe in premarital sex?
I don't give people draws in bedrooms.
There you go. So see, basically, so now if people know that you're a Republican and you're supposed to be an ultra conservative,
I never said I was an ultra conservative. I never said that. Never. Okay, nope. I'm not an ultra conservative. I'm a Republican.
Okay, you're a Republican. So now these are all these two things that I asked you. These are the things that they hold against Democrats. You probably don't see nothing wrong with the casino. You hold that against Democrats.
Wait a minute, sir, because I was at the RNC. Excuse me, sir. I went to the RNC every day, and they never talked about common law marriage, and they never talked about premarital sex. That is not on the platform of the GOP.
You got not to bring it up, but they hold it against.
That's not on the platform. You're putting that on our.
No,
platform.
you see, you splitting hairs. You splitting hairs now.
Okay.
Don't. We need people. We need people on both sides. They got people on both sides. How come we can't have people on both sides? If it's something on the other side that you don't like, we need to have one of our people in there to affect the change.
Old Town, what's the point in answering the question? What you trying to say?
The point of asking the question is that they're saying the Democrats are ruining this country by having. Okay, well, ain't nobody saying it. This is what I thought they were saying. Because I don't want to get too far and start saying stuff. If nobody ain't saying it, that's good. That's good. But I know what I hear. I know what I hear as a conservative. The people that say that they're conservative.
I said I was a conservative. I never said that I'm a Republican. I'm a MAGA Republican.
What I'm saying is, man, I'm gonna be done with this. They're building up they're building up the Republican Party every 4 years, only when the election time comes, to bring up certain issues that drive people over to supposedly saying that they're Republican and that the Democrats is they don't believe in morality. They got immorality going. They got midnight carousing going. And they got transgender going. They bring this stuff up every 4 years, and at the same time, they're doing the same thing. Now, they're doing the same thing, but they're gathering votes. They're gathering up votes for people.
What's your point?
Yeah, so this is what I want to say. Wait, hold on. So one thing Martin can tell you, I've been on this thing. This mission here I'm on. Martin can tell you I've been on this since 2019, and I went to the White House in 2018. I left America and went into political exile in 2016 to protest Barack Obama, the Democratic Party, and Rahm Emanuel. I moved to sunny Senegal and started a whole new life because I could not teach them. So this is not me coming around during this election trying to pop out the woodwork. No, Martin can tell you I've been doing this a very long time at a very high intensity for it to be at this level that we at right now. This ain't new.
Hey, Martin. So let me ask you this question.
Okay, you next 214.
What is it that you think the Democrats don't get?
I live in 60651. That's the Austin community. I can look around and see that we're not getting the resources and services that we need. Excuse me, what you said, what we not getting? What are we not getting? So
what do you think the Democratic Party is not the way to go?
because we can look at these things statistically. So in the state of Illinois, wallet.com did a survey to talk about white versus black equity, like if you know the equity between blacks and whites. Well, the state of Illinois was number 50. And with that, we got a black Cook County Board president, a black governor, a black mayor, a black water reclamation board. All of our leadership is bliggity black, and they are Democrats. And the chaos and
Tell the
dysfunction that
truth
we see
and
is based on the
shame
things
the
that they went down
devil.
there to Springfield and signed for. They signed for all this stuff. Everything you see is put in law through the legislature, and they went to work and got paid to sign for it. We don't need to support them no more because obviously they going to work and signing for the wrong stuff. So I'm gonna
Come
tell
on.
you. Mhm.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
You're right, baby.
Yeah, they've taken us for granted, and you don't even know it.
You're right, and I came out of Diesel 651, okay? Awesome.
I mean, this sister here and the people that's on the line are telling me that you can't even have a high school graduation and really make it in the United States and not make it good. You should be able to graduate from high school and transition right into the workforce. And that can mean going into the military, going into skilled labor, and going into be a police officer. All of those jobs are going to be electricians. All of those jobs are out there for us, and we have to go and get those jobs. Now here she's talking about, well, us receiving some kind of funds and some kind of money that's laid up for us. We don't need nobody to give us nothing. Why can't we just go and work for it?
What money I said was laid up for us and put up? Because I want to go get it right now. What money put up for us?
$1 billion or whatever.
A billion, 1.8 billion of federal housing funds.
What is it for? What is it for?
CHA for housing. That's federal housing.
What do we need? Okay, why can't I go to work and just work myself? Why do I need it?
So CHA money is not just for low income. That's to enforce the Federal Housing Act. There are multiple sections. Excuse me. Anybody who qualifies, so you can go get an FHA loan and become a homeowner. You can go and work through Section 3 and open a business to do the maintenance and upkeep of those properties. The Federal Housing Act has multiple sections, so that $1.8 billion is supposed to go towards enforcing that in the city of Chicago. We got the land, we got the labor, and we got the logistics to spend that money and get our people housed. But the issue is because we are a labor town, the unions are trying to be in charge of all of the work, and then that raises the price of the labor. So they want to build apartments now. They said the apartment's going to be like $700,000 a unit. How? How is it $700,000 a unit? It wasn't that when they gave y'all the money back in 2000. CHA is the only agency in the green. They pay off all their pensions, they pay off all their debt, and they sit on the money, and they've been doing it for 25 years. That's the Democrat Party.
You saying we need a handout then? We need to lay it up.
No, that's not a handout. That's federal money allocated to us. They're not doing us a favor by that. The feds, we paid into the federal government, and then they gave Chicago our portion of that money back to spend on the people, and they're not spending the money on the people. They're hoarding it. That's not just for people.
Okay, can a 22-year-old get this money?
Yeah, they can.
Okay, and they can start getting a house?
Yeah, FHA. F like Frank. FHA loan.
All right, okay. I'm
okay.
Look, they just cut it off.
Be
They
red.
just cut it off, and I'll say this. No, sorry. Go ahead.
Let me get Be Red in real quick because he's waiting. Come on, bro.
A lot of the things that Ms. Ray is saying is factual for the city that y'all live in. And this goes from city to city. They've always had large sums of money to help people that are under, that need a little help. My first home that I bought when I was 27, the FHA had a grant program for first-time home buyers. So that's how me and my wife was able to get our first home. They gave us down payment money. First-time home buyers, we have to have certain credit levels that we were able to met the minimum credit levels that we were able to get our first home. So basically, and I said this to her last time, I know that you are infatuated with Don and all the stuff that he wants to do, but you don't have true love until that man cuts you a check. It's okay to be a fan. It's okay to talk to him. It's okay to be. Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes,
The access is fine. But if you going to do what you say you're going to do, that you would like to do, the Republican committee has to cut you a check. Don't be fooled by the handshakes and the smiles and the pats on your ass. Until he put that check in your hand and say, we're going to back you, you don't have nothing but a smile. This man is a proficient liar. He's lied about everything. And that's facts. So what I'm saying to you, excuse me, I didn't interrupt anybody. I'm not talking crap about her. I want this sister to go into this with her right mind until she gets that check in her hand. And those folks say, we're going to back you for the sellers. You got nothing. But I want you to keep on plugging away. It sounds like your heart's in the right place. The only problem I have with the Republican Party right now is everybody's going to have to toe the line. And you can see how they handle all of their representatives and all of their senators that are Republicans. You're going to have to do what the Republican Party say, and that is facts. They will pull your funding. They will call you out there and open up a primary against you. This is the stuff they're doing to the people that they love now. So all the stuff that you would like to do, if it goes contrary to what they believe, then you're going to have a problem. Now, let me help you out, old timer. This is what you were trying to say. Right now, the Republican Party is wrapped up in the Christian organizations in this country. And they all run around here like Charlie Kirk, like they going to save the world, and you can't have an abortion, and you can't be a man with another man, and you can't do all this morality conversation. And we get it. Those of us who are real men, we don't want to see men kissing on TV. We're all against that. Everybody's against that. And the Democrats hitch their wagon to this nonsense, and they're getting their butt kicked open right now. We all can see that. But don't be no fool in this political game. The politics is about handshakes on one side, pats on the back on the other side, and put the check in my pocket. I know you love me, but okay, show me you love me. Okay? They got to come with a check. You can toe the party line if you can do what they tell you to do, because everybody else is doing it. From Marjorie Greene to everybody else is following in line. They talking about killing the second part of the Voting Rights Act right now. You're going to have to fall in line with that. I don't want to hear about why. I was going to tell you're going to have to fall in line with that system. You're going to have to stand there and say, yep, he's right. We need to get rid of that part of it. You're going to have to say that out of your own mouth and stand on it.
But there's a way to say that, though.
Absolutely. She's going to get paid, brother. Politics, she got to have money. I was answering this question.
Let me say this, because everything that we've been doing thus far, I just finished doing all the paperwork for Chicago Red, because I ain't been doing no paperwork, but I just finished all the paperwork. Do you know, out of all the stuff we've been doing, we did this with less than 10 bands. So this, what I'm seeing now and what the country is seeing with the leadership of the Illinois GOP, all these people for all these years, again, I ain't new to this. They've been trying to starve me out. That's okay. We don't know what she's doing. We don't trust her. She'll stop. And it just kept going. And now they're like, P-Ray, yes, we're going to support you. We're going to back you. We with you. So don't worry about my money. What I'm saying is that we going to stay on what we own. That's it. Now, as far as primary and people, that's a machine trip. That's just a politics thing. I'm not here for that. And the way that you say that, what they're fighting against now is race-based things. And the reason that the race-based things are going away is because the things that were supposed to be set aside to make the Negro whole, now immigrants want to take advantage of it. So the Hispanics said, well, if the Voting Rights Act say that it's got to be, cut a certain way for black folks, then we want it cut for us too. And they like, well, shit, throw it all in the garbage. And I agree. The same reason I say throw DEI out, same reason I say throw affirmative action out, because it does
I agree.
It's for the immigrants, and it is for the gay white man, because that's what Barack Obama did above everything, is give minority to white men through gayness, through their sexuality. So we got to get rid of all of that stuff so that we can come back and get Negro-based things to make ourselves whole. And that's a part of Jim Crow reparations, which I'm definitely going to push for. When I was on Fox Business one day, the lady said, now this is Fox Business for all the business people. They got the stock scrolling at the bottom of the screen. She said, P-Ray, they gave those illegal immigrants, all that money, that could have been your reparations money. And I'm thinking, reparations? They won't talk about reparations on top. So I said, yes, ma'am, they could give us those reparations. But what I am seeking is reparations for Jim Crow. That was a campaign of state-sponsored terrorism against the Negro that was perpetuated by state and local governments and pushed by the federal government. It took an act of Congress to make them stop. The Jim Crow survivors are still alive, and we can definitely, get some money for that because that's our issue. She said, you know what, P. Ray, you're right. You're right. We can get behind that. How about last week, this man named Bill Shapiro went on Charlemagne's show and said the same thing that I said on Fox Business. So that's what I'm doing right now. Getting out here, letting people know that we coming out here with real plans, with real ads, with real tangible things that are due to us, not no favors, what is due to us by our status in this country. Anything that's for Black folks is going to get wiped out and it's going to come back for Negro people, which is what it's supposed to be. So, no, I'm not going to go in there and sell out and show my teeth because everything I'm doing now, I'm doing as a non-elected official. I ain't no congressman. Why is the president sending HUD here to talk to me? The White House sent this email. HUD had this listening session last month, and the big officials came. But they sent the email with me and them, and the lady from the White House said, this is one of President Trump's favorite people. When y'all get to Chicago, make sure y'all go see her. And we held a meeting at the Thurston Federal Building and told them everything that's going on that we thought that they should know about housing, about security, about the illegals, and now everything is rolling out how we wanted it to. So, like, I'm win, lose, or draw, I'm still going to be on the type of time that I'm on because this was never about the title or the money. It's about making sure that we safe and comfortable over here where we paying all these property taxes in a neighborhood that we absolutely love living in. So the only way we're going to be able to keep ourselves here is through federal intervention.
Okay, people, listen, I got one
That's
last
why
call.
we need your voice.
That's right. That's right, Glenn. Let me take this call again. I think they called earlier. 3268. I think they wanted to say
What's going
something.
on, Martin?
Hey, Mr. Roosevelt. Thank you for holding Roosevelt
Yep.
so much. Thank you. Go ahead, make your comment. I think.
Cool.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I had hung up for a second, but just had to call back in because I don't know if T. Ray remember me, but I used to call in on her show all the time when she was on VON, and I think that she's the one who's turned me on to the benefits and in the peace and the tranquility, so-called of the Republican Party. But I had to call in because I heard, something. Why is it that sometimes whenever, some people, let's just say are Republicans or they might call themselves conservative or whatever it is, that, you have people on the left, people like Old Timer who want to make and ask certain questions to make people feel shame. I mean, even though I'm not for common law marriage or whatever, because I think me and P. Ray, I think that we both agree that I think of something if you got to live with somebody. I mean, I feel that scripture only talks about, man and wife as far as marriage goes. And as far as like sex before marriage and everything or whatever, I mean, dude, that's their woman's personal life. What does her political affiliation and what she is trying to do, to benefit our people by, using the benefits of the Republican Party, got anything to do with what someone does in the bedroom? But it's the reason why the question was asked is just to make certain people who are on the right, who are Republican and who are conservative, feel shame for what we might think or what we might say and all of the other kind of stuff. That's pretty much just like all that was, because we know on the Democratic side, that's all that they think about is just nothing but X. Whenever they want to lower the age of consent from 18 down to 12 and 11, and they want to do other things, and they want to do that.
That's
and plus, that's what the Democrats want to do.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's the party that, Old Timer has, unfortunately aligned himself with. It's the Democrat Party that wants to accept transgender bathrooms and wants to, like the governor of Minnesota, which is where my parents live. They wanted to put condoms in bathrooms and all this kind of stuff for transgender people and all of that. And they wanted to pass a law and stuff saying that grown men as old as me can go with somebody who's 4 and 5 years old. It's the Democrats or something whose mind is much more sexually perverted and all of this kind of stuff. And the worst part about it is, I mean, it can be so sad because Martin, I'm not holding you responsible for nothing. Because first of all, it's something I don't, you're not a minister or anything like that. And I know you believe in God, but you have often, even on your platform, called yourself a backslider, but being around you, being in your presence, you never know it because as far as I'm concerned, you're good as gold. But Old Timer calls himself, he's a minister of the gospel and supports a party that would support stuff like abortion and LGBTQ rights, stuff that's the Bible that you believe in. And I mean, and what I'm about to say, this might come off a little bit harsh, but I got to say it. And if it don't apply, just let it fly. But anyone at this point, to me, who votes Democratic and behind that kind of party, I don't really believe that you're a Christian. I really don't. You're not a Christian because as somebody who's a Christian does align themselves with a party or anything like that supports any kind of immorality or any kind of sin, just like the stuff that that they do. Now I can understand that we human, we all could make mistakes, and let's just say like we're all, we all might have sin, but it's certain levels of sin. But anytime you talk about somebody, it's okay for somebody my age to date and go with somebody who's 3 or 4 years old and you want to pass legislation like that. Anytime you say it's okay to, that a grown, overgrown, big strapping man with a dress on to go into a woman's bathroom and anytime you say that it's okay and everything just because somebody or some teenager who don't even know themselves, haven't even smelled themselves yet, talk about that they want to be sexually fluid, feel like a girl on one day and a boy on the next, because you have condoms actually in the girls' bathrooms. That's just an abomination. That's what Sodom and Gomorrah is destroyed for, and many even other parties of the Democratic, the policies of the Democratic Party. If you are politically astute, and even if you could study some of the elements in the teachings of communism, the same kind of thing that they are under in North Korea, China, Vietnam, even Cuba, those same teachings of the Democratic Party fall just like the teachings of communism. So basically, the Democratic Party is a communistic party, which the United States is supposed to be against communism. But no, the Democrats support communistic values. But, people like Old Timer, don't want to talk about this stuff.
Yeah. Okay, let me say this. Hold it, Old Timer. Before you get started, before you get started, now I want to reiterate. I'm saying that wrong, but anyway, we have Democrats and we got Democrats and Republicans on here, but remember we black first. So I believe that we should be on both sides. So I mean, I understand how passionate we are about what each party is doing or not doing. I understand that, but it's perfectly normal for blacks to be a Republican or a Democrat. So what I try to do, I try to bring us all in this chat so we can represent our people.
But the point is,
go ahead, Glenn.
Right. But to put a bow on what he was saying is that the Democratic Party has taken the black vote and the black voice for granted. Yeah, that's how it's gotten the way it has gotten. Yeah, and we get disenchanted, and then we don't vote, and then they still expect us to ride on the back of the bus with no voice. And I understand that's what's kept a lot of people away. But the only way we can empower people is to show up on election day, and that's where it all boils down to, folks. We got to show up, and just like what Martin is saying, we need people on both sides, but we can't empower them people unless we get passionate about showing up on election day. That's the third rail. That's the third rail.
Brother, I agree with what you're saying. But one thing I challenge black people to stop talking about black people in the Republican Party, because I don't see the Caucasian people talking about what Caucasian people are doing. They're passing mammoth bills. They just rebuilt a city over in Greenberg, Kansas over there that was destroyed by a Dubai tornado, and they got wind, solar, they got everything that you need for they rebuilt the city that was 95% destroyed. And they say this is a red as red can be. So what I'm saying is that those people, while we sitting back talking about, well, I remember when a black person had to cross on the other side of the street. I don't see nothing wrong with America. No, we the only ones that bring up this race stuff. Caucasian people are going about passing massive bills. They do it every day, and they don't bring up nothing black in the Senate, in the Congress, in the House of Representatives. All these stuff is arguing for large tax bills and big in numbers and action item numbers in red lines.
Sir, it's responsibility. Our black reps are supposed to do that. That ain't the white folks' response. We send our own representative. Like somebody said, we don't have leaders, we got reps. So if our black reps are not down there handling black business, then we got to make some different choices. They don't owe us that. They're not our representatives.
So what I'm saying, okay, but I asked you that you believe in shacking up. You said you got bum problems.
That has nothing to do with the person he inside. That have nothing to do with what we talking about.
What I'm saying, you got bum problems because I'm saying these are the same things that other brothers are on here talking about transgender and all of this other kind of stuff. But the bottom line is, if you're a taxpayer in the United States, is that you have to the Constitution states that you are endowed with certain unalienable rights. Everybody has the right. Okay, then so as long as you're under the age, if you're in the age of consent, then you're responsible for your own actions. Now, whether a party is backing that or not, I never said that I back anything except for what I think is right. But I got enough sense to know that when you got heavily populated black people, you can have a lot of Democrats coming out of there. They're gonna come out as committeemen. They're gonna come out as aldermen. You're not going to be able to beat a Democrat in a heavily black populated area because you don't have enough white people. So you have to run as a Democrat. And I can't understand how you all get on the line and you got Detroit, you got Philadelphia, you got Los Angeles. All of these are large black metropolis. And so there's no way that you can, rule out the Democratic Party. But every 4 years, you want to bring up something about abortion. You want to bring up something about transgender. And all the other years, white people, when you see all of these gatherings, you see nothing but huge numbers of white people out there on Gay Friday. You see huge numbers of white people that's fighting for abortion. Those are not just no Democrat people. This is just that's a white agenda. You see, when it comes to Midnight Carousing, you got white people. With Hustler magazine and Penthouse operated for years and nobody said anything. Now all of a sudden we conservative and so forth. Come on now. You can't have it both ways. The white people is the one that's running this country, and they run this country the way that they want to run this country. And when they want to bring up an issue every 4 years to get somebody's attention, and then after the vote is over with, they don't talk about it. You don't hear them talking about little stuff right now. But you wait till when it's time to vote. Well, the Democrats, they want you to have a boyfriend. They want you to have
been settled, sir. That's why they're not talking about it. Roe v. Wade is no longer a federal issue. The Supreme Court pushed it back to the states. So the Congress is never going to discuss that again. So no, they're not going to talk about it again. They're not going to talk about marriage anymore. That's federally settled. All of these conversations are not coming back. The thing that we're focused on right now is border security and taxes. That's what we
Mhm.
focus on, and that's not even a racial thing. Across the board, I've been getting signatures here all over the city as a Republican, and the reason people signing my sheet is because they all tired of this illegal immigration.
Okay,
That's
now
not
that's good
racial.
what you're saying.
That is
Now, that's good what you're saying. But I want each and every one of us that's on this line to start going to the restaurants downtown and to the hotels downtown. And I want you to tell me when you get back on this line who's working down there and who's hiring those people. That's what I want you to do. When you go down to the restaurant, when I was going down the Lowry's restaurant, when I was going to Houston, when I was going down on the 95th Street, 95th floor up there in Hancock, I ain't see no blacks working there. You see one or two blacks. When I went to City on the 70th floor of the Board of Trade, I ain't see no blacks working there. I went to one of the top 50 restaurants in the world, right down by the Board of Trade down there. They didn't have not one black person working in there. So you're
talking about, but excuse me, but you're talking about integrating your money with theirs instead of us building our own. That's the conversation I want to hear. I mean, you got a brother from the West Side, Julian. What's his last name? Julian Brown, who has found a way to recycle plastic into gasoline.
Right.
That's a whole industry right there. We need to get behind them.
Right. That's right.
Excuse me, there's a market for gasoline. They tried that with the biodiesel. I've been texting this boy and letting them know all thing they're going to do with his product is put it onto the market with the rest of it. He got a good idea, but there is a market for gasoline. And just like they did with the biodiesel. No, if they not get behind him, I've already texted the guy and let him know, hey man, you got a good idea, but what they're gonna do is co-opt it just like they did the biodiesel. Everybody run around here doing the French fry grease and all that other stuff they did. There's 25% of the fuel that I burn in my truck is biodiesel. You know what the price of my diesel is? $3.79. I ain't seeing none of that. So he has to understand, yes, he has a great idea, but gasoline is a market. I don't think they're gonna do it. Mix his shit in with the rest of it. Good idea for him. The best thing he can do is try to get the best deal he can from one of these huge corporations and get his check. Because gasoline is a market, and they're going to put his stuff in just like they did biodiesel.
Okay.
It's right there on the pump. When I put gas in my truck, biodiesel 25%. You know how much I'm paying? $3.79.
Okay,
Right.
guys.
Well, they said we were going to be paying $1.
Okay, we're gonna end it. We're gonna end it there. We've been. Thank you, P. Ray. What you? Go ahead, old timer. I'm trying to go.
You got a brother out there that's on 159th Street. That got a banquet room called VA Deli. Now they need to support that. I mean, that's a banquet place, but you can hold your gatherings at. You know, he have good service. You know, he got a full-fledged dining room and everything. That's something that we need to look in supporting him. But I'm just say this here. Now, we have to send a different message to everybody. Somebody said something about the people that's getting the gas stations and the liquor stores. Why go and support somebody at 10 o'clock at night? Why go and support somebody at 2:30 in the morning? You need to get your gas at a different, and they serving you from behind the window, serving you from behind a piece of plexiglass. I brought this point up before, but we seem to be hard pressed to learn a message that people mistreat us, but we still go back to them. Now, when them people say that they ain't making no money from 10 o'clock to 6 o'clock in the morning, they're going to say, well, we don't need to have these stores open. But here we all out. We out at 2 in the morning. We out at 1 o'clock in the morning. We are pulling at these gas stations. Instead of getting our gas at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, like the regular people doing, we are all tired of night, running all up and down the Dan Ryan, pulling up in this gas station, pulling up in that. So people ain't going to never respect us.
Okay.
People ain't going to respect us because that's the stuff that we want to do.
Okay, Minister.
So we got to learn how to have some self-preservation.
Okay. All right, Minister. I appreciate those words. All right, people, y'all already know what time
What
it is.
church he from? What church is he from, Mari?
He can tell you. He's Church of God in Christ. Church of God in Christ.
Church of God in Christ.
Yeah, Church of God in Christ.
Sanctified. You Democrat?
Yeah, he a Democrat.
Democrat.
Of course he is.
So you okay? You okay with you're okay with transsexualism and girls having abortions without telling their parents? You okay with that?
No, but I'm not saying Democrats. I'm not saying Democrats are backing that. I'm saying that those
yes, they
things.
are.
No, those are things that's on the books that you can do as an adult. That's just the way it is, brother.
You didn't hear me just say that that you can have girls under 18 can have abortions without their parents' knowledge or consent. You didn't hear me say that?
For free.
Okay.
For free.
For free.
I just want to know what church he's from. What church is he from?
All this is propagated by the white man. Black people are just looking at these things. This all is done by the Caucasian man. This is all done through medicine and through their teachings. This is done by them. Black people are not going out there sponsoring these bills. This is not. If you have a problem, you got to go to the white man. The white man is the one that's doing. He's the one that's giving people license. He's the one that's doing all of that. You need to go to him. You know all this is white run. This is run by the white man, and that's all that is. The white man know how to get stuff going. Hey, he ain't gonna let nobody take away his right.
With all due respect, I just want to know where is this church located?
Yeah, she actually.
That's okay about it. That's okay about that.
He's not gonna tell you that mama house. He's not gonna mess. He Church of God in Christ. Okay. All right, y'all. All right, y'all already know what it is. I enjoyed everybody. Thank you, P. Ray.
All right, Mike.
Thank you, Glenn.
I love you, Mike.
Thank you, B. Red.
Right.
Thank you, Old Timer. Thank you, Marcus. Thank you, Roosevelt. Thank you, young biracial Mexican, my brother, Blaxican. Thank you. Thank all of you guys. Y'all already know
Mama
what.
house, baby.
Mama house. We know Mama house. Mama house. I call her First Lady. First Lady. All right, people. Y'all already
tell the truth.
This is what we do.
And shame the devil.
This is my intro.
Shame the devil.
That's
you
right.
already know what it is. Live, uncut, unedited. Tell
Tell
the
the
truth. And shame the devil.
I love being black. All right, people. Make sure you guys share the video.
Right
Share the video. Don't forget, y'all. I got a birthday.
Be shared.
Yeah, I got a birthday coming up Tuesday, October the 21st. I think it is. So don't y'all forget me now. October 21st. If God said the same, I'll be 57 years. I know.
All right, baby.
57 years old. Thank you guys so
I love
much.
you, sugar.